Probably go to jail expansion.
Oh, did you, yeah, they got 3 new Monopoly expansions. Boom. Bam.
Yeah, Bubba Bam, indeed.
How much were those?
$10 a pop. Amazon, Walmart, Target, and your boys got the first how to play video for all 3 of them.
Who's my boy?
Rodney.
Rodney.
Yeah.
Rodney did that, huh? That's awesome.
I'm saying I got my videos up too.
Okay. Well, hey everybody. It is the weekly Alaboom. This is the 25th anniversary of the Board Game Geek. 25 years
25
ago.
years today, yes.
25 years ago today.
Seems
Scott Alden,
when you say it out loud, it's so crazy.
A young boy with a hope and a dream.
Twinkle in my eye.
And a GoDaddy.com website.
I can't remember if it was GoDaddy. Was GoDaddy no, you know what? I don't remember what the first domain registrar was. Maybe it was GoDaddy. I think I've been with GoDaddy for like 25 years.
Yeah, I mean, like, but there you go. But anyway, we interrupted.
Oh, it was not GoDaddy. It was what was the first one? It was like Net something.
I have no idea, dude.
NetSol? No, it wasn't GoDaddy, it was something else.
Well, I believe you. I'm just saying that.
Let me see what the first public registrar was. First, like, commercial.
Anyway, thanks for having me on the stream.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Today, that was
very
fun.
kind to me, Lance. That was very nice.
Well, and then everybody else had to feel like they had to pile in. Say, I also think he's awesome.
It definitely felt a little awkward.
What was it? So yeah, I mean, I was like, I can't be political today. I just can't on the album. So we're not gonna touch it. But I do want to hear Forrest Bauer has a wonderful story.
It's not a story.
He has a wonderful story.
It's not much
about how he struck it rich.
By the way, Network Solutions was the first registrar that I believe that was the first one ever where you could commercially register domain names.
Very good.
Anyway,
so
NetSol.
Before we dive into whatever else we're going to end up talking about, Forrest, I want to hear about you bought some Trump coins.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's already sold it.
I've been on Twitter a lot more lately because I'm trying to build up my whole crypto persona with the YouTube Shorts, doing some videos on it, and so I check Twitter pretty regularly, and I saw, like, I wish I would have not ignored it the first time. I saw he launched the coin. I thought he was hacked like everybody else did. And I came back a couple hours later, realized it was legitimate, bought it at $11. And I woke up there at $72. And I thought I'd be cute. I thought I'd be super cute. And I was like, yeah, I'll hold on to this until the inauguration, because surely it'll go up till then. But then that son of a biscuit had to have his wife launch her own shit coin the next day, which plummeted the value of his coin. Which is fantastic.
He didn't rug pull? They didn't rug pull? They didn't rug pull you?
No. I mean, nobody got rug pulled. It's
nobody?
No.
Well, why did it drop?
Because everybody thought this was going to be like a super serious like thing, and then the next day his wife launches a coin too. And now his nephew's got a coin. But yeah, we got out. I made like $1,200 over 2 days, which and like I was telling Scott, like, the only reason I only made $1,200 was because I didn't have more money to throw at it that very moment. I wish I would have took it, because I could have taken money from somewhere else and put it in there, and I thought about it. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, that's all it takes is one good time. Like right now, I'm sitting on a bunch of coin called Simon's Cat, which I think is going to do really well because it's by the actual Simon's Cat guy. It's all reputable, and it's dirt.
Who the hell is the Simon Cat's guy?
The guy who makes Simon's Cat, whoever the artist is.
I've never even heard of Simon's
it.
Cat. I don't.
Yeah, it's like an animated cat. You've seen it, Lance, I'm sure.
I don't.
It's like a cartoon.
There's a really solid game released from Steve Jackson Games, the Simon's Cat card game. Very delightful family weight,
it's
but
like
also still good enough you can do it as a gateway game. or a game night beginning or end of the night. Yeah, check out Simon's Cat card game. Rock solid, family name.
So I'm just curious. Can you track who buys these coins? You can't, right?
Yeah, well, you know who's you can see everybody's wallet, but you don't necessarily know whose wallet is
Like,
whose. But
let's
sometimes
say
you know.
a Russian wallet dumped $1 billion into that coin.
Which coin?
One of the
It,
coins that we just talked about.
it would show immediately. People
But
post
you wouldn't
all
know
the
who they
time, like on
were.
Twitter. Like I get like, oh, BlackRock just purchased this much Ethereum. 2 unknown wallets just swapped out 16 million of this thing.
Right. The unknown wallets could be anybody.
Yeah. So if someone did something that large, it would be known. It would be like a huge story because people track that stuff religiously, and now they have AI to track everything, any sort of large increments.
I'd be curious if there was any Russian coins, Russian wallets that came into that coin.
Well, yeah, I imagine a lot of people purchased it because they thought it was going to be an easy cash. Like, and it was easy cash. It's still like now it's not, but if you were there right when it launched,
I mean, I might be crazy here. Just so I understand. So the Trump coin was a crypto coin, correct?
yes, it would be called a shit coin, which means it doesn't have a practical application right now.
So,
but it went up to like $50 billion.
So when it was at $12 or whatever you bought it at, whatever
11.
number, 11. And I don't need numbers. I don't need exact numbers. But my understanding is that let's just say you bought 100 of them, and I don't want to know the exact number, but you bought
34 and a half.
Okay. Just whatever.
I just
want to work. I want to work with numbers that I can actually like use. So you bought 100 at $12 a piece. So you spend or 11. Sorry, that would be $1,100. And then you wait until X, and then they're worth 70 now, and then you sell them. Don't you have? I mean, how do you sell it? I mean, doesn't there have to be people willing to buy it for you to sell?
It's the exact same way that like how does it like a stock market? How am I selling these 70 stocks? It just does. It's just
they're markets.
I mean,
and they shave off like a percentage of the sale.
But what if, and I'm just saying, what if you have 100 of whatever, and there isn't a single person in the world that wants to buy those things? Can you still sell them?
Then I wouldn't be doing that coin because it's such a weird ass coin. But yeah, I guess you could, because the thing is, you're selling it to an exchange. So like crypto.com is an exchange. So if I sold them 200,000 Doge coins, they now have those 200,000 Doge coins, which they can then turn around and sell to someone else. Like so yeah.
It is very possible that these things are worth less, like a fraction of a penny, Lance. Like they become almost worthless.
Got it.
Like go look at the Hawk coin. I don't know where it's at. Actually,
well, that one was that one legitimately was a rug pull. It was a rug shenanigans. Pull. The Trump one could be. It definitely could be. It doesn't there is the potential that if they wanted to, they could just back up on what's called their roadmap.
By the way,
that would be amazing. Like it would just be amazing if the president just was like, nope.
But the Hawk coin is worth 0.00002862 cents.
Now that
one, I should buy it now.
100 or billion coins is worth $27,000 total. By the way, you can buy if you want to dump 27,000, you can buy all the Hawk coins in the world if you want to, assuming people sold to you.
Got it.
By the way, it went from way higher than that in one day.
Well, that's because they legitimately did a rug pull.
There was definitely a rug pull. It's actually quite interesting, and no one's heard from the Hawk 2 girl since.
I know. I'm on crypto. I was there when it all happened. Like I was in a space where yeah, I'm hitting the Twitter as hard as I can. But that was a rug pull. Yeah, like the people that orchestrated that knew exactly when it was going to launch, and then a bunch of what are called snipers bought it all super dirt cheap, and then as soon as the price go, they sell it all, and then it fucks everybody over.
It screwed a lot of people.
Yeah, the Trump coin's a completely different thing, but it could be if he wanted to, because in theory 80% of all the coins are in one wallet. They're going to be released over the course of 10 months or something like that, 10 years. I don't know. I'm out of the coin. I'm not getting back in unless it dips way down.
See myself ever buying any of that stuff ever. I mean, I bought some Doge when I thought it was fun. Before, Neil, what is his name? Nilo. Anyway, Elno. Before Elno got a hold of it. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, cool. I guess, I mean, I mean, it's just not my thing, and I would never get into it. It's not because I think, well, I mean, I think it's kind of silly, but but God love you, Forrest. I hope you make billions of dollars doing
His
it,
goal
so
is
that
to have his house.
you can remember me, your good friend.
Well, it's also the YouTube channel too, man. It's also the YouTube channel.
And you can come in with with diamond hands and like give me $1 million because it's worth nothing to you. And
they're saying the next big sector is going to be the gaming, and I am putting myself firmly in place in a couple games.
What was that? What was that?
What was that game you played?
Splinterlands. I still got all my Splinterlands cards for once that starts booming. Once they get picked up by Microsoft or something.
What were those things called?
Pelicore Bandits. I got
Pelicore Bandits.
Got them all.
How many years ago was that?
Couple.
It's been a few years now.
Couple years. Yeah. Good
you
times.
You still have?
Oh yeah, I haven't sold anything.
That place went belly up, didn't it?
Yeah, that place has got to gone like.
No, they're still making the game. They still have kept adding to it, so it's in a position where if the crypto gaming circuit picks up, they have the ground. They have like a huge foundation, a huge collection of cards. It's I'm live, baby. I'm to the point on the lottery ticket where it's like I'm on the back of the lottery ticket where it says redeem this online, but I'm still live.
Can I switch channels of the timeline? Like, can we go to a different timeline, please?
I don't know how you.
I just feel like we're in this weird ass timeline that I just can't even comprehend, and I'm like, I'm not really. I'm unsure bizarre. Of the future.
It is very weird. It's scary too. Like I was listening to his inauguration, it was just like, ooh, no, this is yeah.
We can't talk about that.
Okay.
No, I mean I just don't want it's just it'll set me off, and then I'll be really annoyed, and yeah, I will lose my mind, and yeah, I can't allow myself. I can't allow myself right now.
Can't stand you.
I can't stand
I played one of the greatest games ever made this weekend. Last weekend.
What's that?
That's the Iridia. What's the full name of that game? It's got a subtitle.
Yeah, I know. It's got a
that's that big adventure game?
Yeah, from the designer of Zia.
Yeah. It was amazing, I take it.
Cody Miller. Iridia, the paths we dare tread. The paths we dare tread. I mean, it's amazing. It's like everything I've ever wanted in a fantasy adventure board game. Everything. We were just like, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's amazing. Oh my God, this is cool. It was just endless amounts of cool all day long for 10 hours. And it never let up. And we're like, oh my God, what is this game? How is this? Like, it just, it's nothing like, there's no groundbreaking things in there. It's just everything is done so well for an adventure game if you're into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like a long time ago when I did my review for Zaya for him, he said, whenever I publish anything, he said, just let me know and I'll give you a copy of it for free. And
Cody?
and I've
never met him. I need to talk to him.
Should I reach out to Cody and say, so I got that golden ticket from you all those years ago.
You should say, hey, your Iridia games looks amazing. What do you?
Yeah, I wonder if I still have the ability to.
But I know I got it. You would like it because you play D&D.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it does so many great things that I just love. It's one of the first games that like rewards role playing in the game. Like it's built into the mechanics of the game. And we just had fun with it because so what you get is you get NPCs and one person at the table is like the reader, right? Or whatever. And it tells you what their mannerisms are and like what their voice is like and what they're doing, like what they are. They're a human woman, barkeeper, and she's twiddling her thumbs. Like that's your role playing part. and then you have to do, get into it, and then you read a story, and then there's keywords, and the person who's reading the cards doesn't tell the party like what the keywords are. So they have to sort of like they have to play, they have to role play it. Oh, tell me about these rats that you're having problems with, like the pests or whatever. Oh, these pests, they've been bugging me, like it's just well done. It's like a built-in DM into the game.
I'm
We got
excited to
into it.
try
We
it.
did voices and everything. Like it was great. I had great fun with it. Like honestly, 10 hours straight of fun. I've not had that much fun in a game day in a long time. And by the way, the rules are fucking phenomenal. We rarely had any problems with it. And when we did, we found the answer like instantly. It's so good. So good. All right. I can stop gushing about it now. Oh, one little problem. We're missing one piece. What a big deal. I guess I have to say one negative thing about it.
So can I give I want to do a grievance, and this it's kind of a weird one, and I'm not going to mention names, but I want to explain something that
You're aggrieved.
I'm
Hashtag
aggrieved, right? So I still play board games, for fun.
Do?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, I
hey,
wasn't sure.
Aldi, have you checked flight prices to get up here February 7th through the 9th for Gathering of Vikings?
Yeah, I'll check.
Okay, you do that.
See what happens. You're
I
not
can
gonna
get
get
you.
snowed out.
I can get you a good price at a Holiday Inn Express.
Okay.
Just, and I'll drive you back and forth every day. I'll come pick you up in the morning. You can go grab a quick egg sandwich for the
Egg Sammy.
ride, and then an egg Sammy.
I like egg sandwiches. I haven't had one of those in a while.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Boy,
I remember uh I remember somebody showed me how, like, if you take uh if you take it's just like a little bowl, let's take a bowl about, like, maybe 4 inches in diameter, and then you crack an egg and put in it, and you mix it up like it's scrambled eggs, and you throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds. It's cooked. And you take
Really?
that, put it on a piece of toast, put a sliced cheese on
So
there.
it's just an egg in a bowl
Yeah, and then you just throw it in the microwave for like
and
30
no butter,
seconds.
nothing. Like it's just
Nothing.
salt,
It's just
pepper.
then you get
Okay.
done. Yeah, and then put salt and pepper on it if you want, and then just I mean, it'll be super hot, so careful with your fingers, but you just take a fork, spoon it out, plop it into a piece of toast, slap a piece of cheese on there. You get an egg sandwich in a minute.
I like to cook eggs like on a pan.
Oh, I know, I do like that too.
I love it. So good.
Oh yeah, and you get it just a little bit runny.
Oh yeah, get it the texture right on. Yeah. It's
Yeah, it just like
best.
and then you put the cover over so that gets the white film over the
I've never.
top.
I usually flip them over. I do
Over hard.
over easy, over
Oh, okay.
medium,
Well, so then you're doing it wrong, is what they say. Because
probably.
what you do is when you put your eggs on there, you put some butter on there, you throw your 2 eggs or whatever, how many eggs you're gonna have, and then you cover it with like
With a
usually
lid.
there's a lid you have for your
Yeah.
pan. You just cover it, and like especially if it's a glass lid, you can sit there and you can watch, and then you'll watch as like the top of and like you can just put a tiny bit of water in right before you
To give it
close
some
it
steam.
to give it some steam, and then like the top of the eggs will get like this that classic like kind of white coating on the top because it just basically
Mhm.
puts it and like
Man, now
it
I'm hungry.
it takes the yolk and it makes it sit there, and then you cook it a little bit longer if you want over medium or whatever, but then pop it out, and then you get that runny egg thing where you can put the toast in and spoon it up.
The best.
Yeah,
Not better.
it's not a bad, of course eggs are like $87 a dozen now or whatever it is. So
Oh, I thought the prices were going to be dropped like tomorrow.
yeah, no, just all right. So okay, so I do like I still play board games for fun every once in a while, but like for the most part, like most of the stuff, if I back something in crowdfunding or whatever, I do it on mostly role playing game stuff. And then every once in a while, like it's tough to track down all the weird stuff that comes out. And somebody was like, so there is this person that creates really, really cool role-playing game stuff in Hungary. Like, and the stuff, if you find it, because somebody, like, for whatever reason, like, has it for sale, excuse me, in the United States, you can get it at a decent price. Otherwise, you gotta order it directly from their website, and the shipping is killer, right? It just, because when
Which
you're
game is
shipping
this?
it, what?
What game?
It's not a game, it's role-playing game books, whatever.
Hungry.
From
Yeah,
Hungary.
from Hungary or whatever.
Yeah, I heard of it.
And anyway, so I like, it's one of those things where you see somebody on Facebook post about it, because I follow these role-playing game people, and they're like, this is really cool, it's a really awesome book, it's system neutral, so you can use it for anything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And then I found out, and I was like, does anybody, like, anywhere in the US have these games? So then I found this thing, and there was this company. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to, like, trash on them or anything like that. But they were like, I tracked them down, and then it was one of those things where it's like, oh, you Google them, like they have a website, and then it's like, no, but they have a Facebook page. I was like, okay, fine, go to the Facebook page. Then you go to the Facebook page, and they say, um, like, we don't have a website because it crashed on us and we didn't want to bring it back up. And then you find out, like, they haven't had a website for like 3 years. And they're like, and if you're interested in any of the books that we have, send us a Facebook message and let us know what you're interested in. And I'm like, okay, so you send them a Facebook message, and then you get the automatic response that says, thanks for reaching out. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then, like, days go by, and then they finally, like, oh, hey, how can I help you, that kind of thing. And I even said, I'm looking for this book. This is back in December. And they're like, oh yeah, I think I still have some of those. I'm not sure though, I'll have to check. And I was just like, okay, how do you run a business, like? And I was like, well, it's like, I was like, well, do you have a list? I mean, you don't have a website, so I can't look at your inventory. I was like, can I see what other stuff you have? And I mean, in case, like, if I'm gonna buy something from you, if you have anything else that's like kind of like that I'm interested in. I mean, I don't want to have to pay shipping twice, that kind of thing. And they're like, yeah, I think I have like a spreadsheet somewhere that I could share with you. I'm like, okay. And so then, of course, I was thinking about getting this book. And then my wife said, like, why are you going to buy a book? It's Christmas is coming. If you just put it on your Christmas list, and I'll do it. And so then I said to him, I was like, look, it's like how, if my wife wanted to buy this book for me, how does she do it? And he's like, oh, well, send me an email. And I was like, okay. And admittedly, like I said, like, if this game company's name, or this bookstore slash whatever game company's name was like, dndbooks.com or something like that, that isn't it, right? But I mean, like, let's you'd think, oh, does you're like, does would his email be like owner at dndbooks.com? No, it's like, Taco Joe Smiley at CompuServe.net or something. Just like, I'm like, it's like, oh, it's like, so he doesn't even really, but the thing is that they go to all these conventions and they sell books at all these conventions. And I was just kind of like, all right, well, I mean, they seem like they're legit. And so I said, well, he said, just have her email me at this and then I'll take care of it. I was like, that's fine. So Christmas comes and goes. And she said, yeah, I emailed that guy and he didn't even bother responding to my email. And I was like, oh, geez, So then I sent him so I sent him another Facebook message. I was like, hey, my wife said she tried to reach out and, she was going to buy that book from you, but didn't. And she said, if I still want it for Christmas, just order it. And so, like, hey, I want to get that. No response. Like, a week goes by, no response. I said, hey, is everything, it's like, hey, just check it in. Still want to buy that book, and it's not like it's like a $50 book. It's like a big, giant, thick, D&D book. And then I, like, no, another week goes by, and I finally said, hey, is everything okay over there? Just like, it was like one of those things where it's like they weren't making any posts on their Facebook page, they weren't responding to emails, nothing. And then finally he gets back, oh yeah, we've just been super, lots of stuff going on, yeah, I'm actually out of stock of that book, but I should actually have some more coming in really soon. like we can definitely take care of that order. And I was like, okay, well, I did look at your giant list of other things you had, and I said I found these other books that I'm interested in as well. And he's like, oh, okay. And then I sent him, and he's like, well, just give me the list, and then I'll, it's like I'll send you the pricing for it. And I was like, that's fine. And that was like, I sent him a Facebook message like 3 days ago. It's like, he's like, oh, I should have that book by the end of January, and I'll be able to send it for you. I was like, perfect. And I was like, I'll happily just give you the money now, so I don't have to worry about it. I can just make the money. He's like, yeah, sure. I'll tell you how much the pricing is and everything like that, and I'll get back to you. Like 3 days ago, I said, these are the books I want. And he was like, cool. He's like, yeah, give me, yeah. I was like, let me come up with the pricing. The spreadsheet he has the prices. I could tell you what the pricing is. I was like, it should be this plus shipping. Whatever you're going to gouge me for whatever fly by night piece of shit fucking company that you run. Like, I'll pay, I just want this goddamn book from Hungary that I can't get a hold of anywhere else but through you. And I'm like, I want to give this guy money, and he's just making it impossible. I just don't understand people that just won't take money. But anyway.
Is that their main business?
I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure it's
it
just
must
like
not
what.
Be, right?
Well, no, I mean, if it was, it couldn't possibly be, right? But I was just, but I was just like, good Lord, man, just how tough is it just to just say, yeah, sure. What's your address? Let me take the money, and then and then we'll go from there. You could just do that, but no, just infuriating. But yeah.
By the way, this is sort of political, but did you guys hear about this Project Stargate?
No.
Nope.
Like, why? Nobody talked about this project. Like, I found out about it this morning. I'm like, what? Yeah, Project Stargate. $500 billion AI project. 500 billion.
Cool.
Can you imagine what you could do with 500 billion, like, for the country? Like, anyway, it boggles the mind. Anyway, 500 Bs. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, sorry. I thought there would be more to talk about, but maybe not.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't even, I just, stuff like that just drives me crazy. I just, if I think about it too long, I go crazy. And I don't want to go
But
crazy.
the name Stargate is just kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Cool. Wasn't that a movie?
No, it was a movie and a show. And a spin-off show.
Yeah, like there was a couple shows.
The first one was Stargate SG-1, which actually meant Stargate 1. And then the second one was Stargate and then like it was Stargate SG Atlantis, or maybe it was just Stargate Atlantis or whatever.
Did you watch any of it? I saw the movie.
I saw the movie.
It was actually pretty good. I liked it.
And I thought it wasn't a bad movie too.
And then there was Stargate Universe.
There was Stargate Universe as well.
Oh yeah. I had my buddy Derek was a huge Stargate 1 fan.
Oh yeah.
And he watched them religiously, and he would tell me about all the like the deep.
Wasn't it like MacGyver in the show?
Richard Dean Anderson, yeah, totally.
MacGyver.
Did he MacGyver it, or was it just not?
Hey, just so you know, MacGyver, proud Minnesotan.
He is
proud Minnesotan. When MacGyver was a huge thing, and he had the mullet, and the twins were in the World Series, he did a bunch of commercials. For the I guess he like took almost no money for it, like just goofing off.
He's a big
like just goofing off with the Minnesota Twins and like just like trying to like hit home runs and stuff and just being a goofball. So, but yeah, Richard Dean Anderson, baby, MacGyver.
I have a grievance.
Okay. You just missed mine, but go ahead.
I heard. I listened to it. It's not much of a
strategically timed his
Take my money. Take my money.
It's not much of a grievance, but I'm trying to log on to do some stuff on my computer at work. I know it's on. I know Chrome is open, and it's appearing as offline in Chrome Remote Desktop, and it's pissing me off. That's what you get for free apps.
That's free. You could pay the thousands of dollars a year for the remote PC or whatever it's called.
Yeah, let me think about that.
I don't think it's worth it.
No. The 1 day every 2 or 3 years that I
Yeah, it's
have
like
to.
the one time you have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have
Chrome
stopped
desktop
by
is
on the
way
way home
easier.
from D&D though. That's the kind of thing that pisses me off, but whatever, it's fine. It's not like I can't wait till tomorrow what I want to do. But that's all good. Oh,
Yeah.
my one of my players tonight, one of my co-players, just got his mini in the mail from Hero Forge that he ordered, and it was a pre-printed full color print mini,
Ooh.
What does that mean?
How'd it look?
a full color 3D printed mini. Nope, not
Oh,
painted.
okay. 3D
It
printed.
looked really good,
Oh, neat.
and like you could see the eyes and the facial features and everything like that, and they were like if someone were to paint it, they would have to use a pretty darn small brush to do it. It looked really good. Mind you, it was $35, but
Oh, interesting.
I think a lot of people would pay $35 to get their mini painted.
Yeah,
Maybe.
totally.
People would
It's
pay
really
$100
good.
to get it painted.
I think they would
It has
too.
to be really, really good though.
So, I mean, this one was I'd say it was worth $35 Canadian too.
Is that
So
something? Oh, so it's like $20 US?
yeah, something like that. 20. Well, these days with the fucking dollar where it is, yeah.
Burn.
So what is this? Is this a
No, with
system you
my
can
dollar
just like
where it is.
order like a custom mini? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
burn you.
Yeah, so what you do is when you go to Hero Forge, you can build your guy and then you can color it. And what a lot of people just like, I just use the coloring to take a screenshot. I don't usually I just do it for fun to get inspiration. Because I never paint mine. My DM paints all our minis. So, but now that you've colored it, you can actually order it colored.
Gotcha.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
Technology, man. Pretty cool.
Amazing.
Pretty cool. Yep, yep, yep.
Another big thing this week was the Hall of Fame got launched.
Yeah,
Board
congrats,
Game
man.
Geek Hall of Fame.
That's fantastic. I thought there was just going to be five. How many?
It's 25 it's 25 inductees.
Cool.
5 a day. We're on day 3 today.
Yeah. I
2 more
haven't looked
days.
today
Friday,
for
Thursday and Friday.
That's fantastic.
It's going over pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've looked at the comments for the last couple of days.
Thanks for the logo.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming to us for the logo.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a good logo.
Yeah, we're really happy with it.
We're going to get it turned into a medal.
Yeah.
We talked about.
Yeah. Like metal.
That was my secret project that I didn't, I was sort of hinting at that I never tell anybody.
Are you getting a metal or is it
A metal,
cool?
but with color.
Are you gonna test your metal with a metal?
Yeah, I'm going to test the metal with a metal.
Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
You think I've been drinking, but no, I haven't. Just caffeine.
The Blues
it
Brothers.
was a lot of work.
My advice to you is to
Yeah.
start drinking heavily.
I am practicing dry until gamma
When's Gamma?
in 4 weeks.
No, it's 4 weeks. Okay.
So from New Year's Day till gamma, till February 23rd. So not like it's really that hard to do. I don't drink much anyway.
I drank some at Christmas time, and it's just, I think I'm done drinking for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you had some bourbon.
Sucks. Yeah, I had the bourbon. My brother-in-law had this crazy ass bourbon that like is thousands of dollars, and he shared it with us.
So you're done because it just left you feeling crappy?
I just don't feel good anymore about drinking.
That sucks.
It sucks. I like to drink. Used to.
I
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I do too. I'm working at restaurants. I mean, I'll say this all the time, but for the restaurants, like in the 90s and 80s, if you worked at a restaurant, you were borderline alcoholic.
Party at the restaurant every night.
Oh God, after hours at the bar and
Yeah, I worked as a busboy and a waiter, but I was underage, like I wasn't 21, so I couldn't partake in any of that. I do remember the parties though.
I mean, we had like you do after hours.
Yeah.
And then
I would go, but I couldn't drink.
I remember doing after hours, and then the sun came up, and one of the guys beside me got up and then started vacuuming because he was working that morning.
Oh my gosh. I worked at Ruby Tuesdays. Do you know Ruby Tuesdays?
No, I heard of it.
It's a restaurant.
Oh, so good salad bar.
It had one of the best salad bars ever.
Oh,
Even better than Olive Garden salad bar.
Yes,
Yep.
by far. It was amazing. But it was a great salad bar. But it was like a Fridays kind of environment, you know?
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
a Fridays.
Okay.
So it was like I had flair. You know, little buttons and stuff, all that stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
50 pieces of flair.
How many flair pieces do you have? You don't have enough flair.
Is that what it's called? Because I had flair when I worked at Hard
But
Rock.
do you remember Office Space?
Oh yeah.
I never watched it.
There was no required flair, but I wore like a button. I think I had a Batman button on my
Yeah.
So the one in that Office Space, like there was the one, like Jennifer Aniston played the one that she was just like, this place sucks, and she like did the bare minimum of flair or whatever.
What's the minimum amount of flair?
Yeah, I
that I
forget what
need
it
to
was.
wear?
But but then it was just like, and then the guy's like, it isn't about the minimum. It's about, like, but it was like Donnie or whatever was the guy that was like just the chucklehead, and his suspenders are just full of stuff
Yeah,
up
he's
and
like
down.
full flair.
And
That's
then
such a great movie. I love Office
and then
Space.
they make, and he comes out and like, and then we're like, he's just a complete and total like, D-bag. And then like the whole thing about that movie was you were waiting. I was waiting for there to be a scene where that guy, like, something bad happened to him, like he got his, like it, but no, it just
Yeah, never came back to him.
They never came back to him.
Left the restaurant. What was the name of that place?
Was that a Hooligans or something?
Hooligans. Hooligans.
Hooligans or Houligans. Something like that.
Hold on, I gotta look it up now.
Because that's what you. My favorite line on that whole thing was
Tchotchkes.
My favorite line
filmed in Austin.
My favorite was
Kabuki Kid knew it.
When he says what if we're still working at Initech in 15 years? He's like, I would dream of that kind of job security.
Ruby Tuesdays was a great job. I made a lot of money there. Like if you worked a Friday night, I could leave like $100. And that in the 80s,
that was good.
That was like, yeah.
We had at Hurley's, which was before what the restaurant was called before Hard Rock came in. We had this thing called Super Thursdays, but if you're staff, you called it Stupid Thursdays because it was just nuts. It was $2.50 apps. So in American money, that would be like $1.75 apps.
7 cents for.
And that was, so you could get for $2.50, you could get a single wing, like a single order of wings, not a single one wing.
Yeah, you get a wing, chicken wing.
Basically 10 wings.
For one chicken wing?
It was basically 10 wings, a basket of fried zucchini, or for a while fried ravioli, which was garbage.
They have cheese sticks.
Cheese and salsa nacho. Mozzarella sticks was one of the things for a while. It wasn't always there. And maybe one or two other things. I can't remember. And people would sell like $2,000 that night in a section, which is nuts.
Big money.
For $2.50 apps, it was crazy.
So they're drinking.
Oh yeah, it was like yeah, big time. But even back then, like in those days,
the big thing at our place, I remember when Ruby Tuesdays when I worked there as a waiter, strawberry margarita.
Yeah.
They had just been invented, I think, or something.
Oh right, yeah, sure.
And it was nuts. I mean, like endless strawberry margaritas, endless.
Like even to sell $2,000, I mean, like beer, you can get 3 Coronas for like $9 at that time, right? Now it's 1 Corona for $9 Canadian.
Yeah. The times.
Michelle and I went out to dinner last night for her bar none meetup, and her drink was $20.
Oh my goodness!
I looked at the bill. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? This was one drink."
Did it come with a $10 bill?
I know.
No,
it made no sense. I hate that restaurant. It's like one of the worst. It's so expensive lines. And it's terrible food.
You paid $400 for a pair of pants? Yeah. Did it come with a TV? What's the movie? What's the movie?
Oh my gosh, I know it, but I don't know it.
What did
Big
you say?
Lebowski?
He goes. It's
Question.
like he says, you're gonna ruin my. It's like I forget what the dollar amount, but it's like you're gonna ruin my $400 pants. He's like, those pants are $400. Yeah. Did they come with a TV?
What is that movie? I don't know.
Bruce Willis says that they come with a TV.
Bruce Willis said it?
Yep.
Oh, was it? It wasn't Last Boy Scout, was it?
It was
Not
Last Boy
Die
Scout.
Hard, is it?
The Last Boy
Last
Scout.
Boy Scout?
Last
Oh, yeah.
Boy
I only
Scout.
saw that one
Damon
time.
Wayans.
It
Yep.
didn't do anything for me. I didn't like that movie.
Oh, Last Boy Scout's a great movie.
I
What are you
liked
talking
it. I
about?
enjoyed it.
Just
It's, Die Hard. It's no Die Hard.
when
It's
when
no
he
Hudson Hawk.
when he
Oh,
says,
dude, Hudson Hawk's fucking awesome.
I seem to have dropped my cigarette. He's like, gives him one. He's like, can I get a light? He's like, yeah, sure, pal. If you touch me again, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then he punches him again and just hits him, kills him. Hits him in the nose, and then he grabs the lighter and lights the cigarette, then throws the lighter back on his body. And then,
That's Kim Coates. He's from Montreal.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, "Oh my God, you fucking killed him! You fucking killed him!" And then the other guy, the really big bad guy or whatever, comes in and he says, he's like, Jesus Christ! He's like, yes, Wallace, please take Steven's corpse out of here so I can speak to him. Just like, and he sits down to talk to him, just nonchalantly says, please take Steven's corpse out of the room so I can have this conversation.
So I started watching Twin Peaks again.
Now, wait. God, you know the Last Boy Scout line that I loved. Hold on a second. I gotta remember you. I had to tip my fingers. I can't believe you guys did. I mean, Last Boy Scout's a good movie. No, when the really big bad guy is like he's trying to interrogate Bruce Willis, and then he pops out a switchblade and he like starts poking like he's gonna like stab him in the eye. He goes, you know what? Just once, I'd like to hear you scream. Play some rap music.
Yeah. I remember
I don't remember that at all. I barely remember that movie. I remember there was like a bomb in a football or something like that at one point.
They're gonna like assassinate like I don't know if it was the president anymore or if it was somebody, but it was some like top person that they're gonna assassinate at a football game, and then and when I say it out loud, it's gonna be like what? But Damon Wayans jumps onto a horse, like the mascot of the team, rides it onto the football field during the middle of an NFL game, tells the quarterback to hand him the football, which he does, and then he throws it at like the president or whatever, which hits him in the face, which knocks him to the side, so the bullet hits the chair where he's sitting, or maybe it punctures the football. Dumb. I don't know, but yeah, not to give away the ending or anything, but yes, when I say it like that, it sounds crazy, but
it was awful. I remember not liking it at all.
You're crazy. Okay. You don't know what you're talking about. Cinematic brilliance.
But I like Waterworld, so.
I like Waterworld too. And I've told my Waterworld story about Jack Black, right?
Yes, we have talked about Jack Black, Waterworld. Yeah. And the guy inside the tanker, like.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God. just think.
Well, Waterworld was one of my first Laserdiscs.
There you go.
I had movie night with my 50-inch TV. I had a projection TV. Remember those big ass projection TVs that were 500 pounds? They like.
I still remember the last.
By the way, I bought a 50-inch TV for $300 last week.
That's crazy.
$300 for 50 inches.
Well, you can't get that. Never mind. I still remember. We had one.
What is his camera doing?
Nah, it's just trying to focus on something. He's not
searching
there.
the room.
So,
found him.
I mean, it was like it's got to be like a decade ago now. But I mean, we still had one, like, CRT TV like at the house. I remember, and we didn't use it anymore. It just sat in our It was in our garage, and then because I was like, geez, I gotta get rid of this, and then like there was like they wouldn't take it at spring cleanup, and I was like, I gotta take it to the dump or something, and then they had a thing in North Dakota where they wouldn't charge you. They would let you bring like anything with a tube or anything like that. They would let you bring it, and they actually gave you like $7 for it or something like that. So you weren't like, throw it in the garbage. And but but you had to have a North Dakota ID, and then my stepdad drove over to my house, and then it was huge. Like it was like, it was like a 44-inch CRT thing, weighed 1 billion pounds, and then he and I threw it in the back of his car, and we drove it over, and he used his ID, and we got to get rid of it finally. It sat in the garage for like years. I was just like, Jesus, gotta get rid of this thing. How am I gonna get rid of this?
Yeah, me and Lincoln, when I moved into my house back in the early 2000s, there was a big screen. The previous owners left their big screen TV, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I got a big screen TV now. But then it was just a really bad one. Like it barely worked. And like me and Lincoln took it to the dump one day. And we're like, how do we just got to get rid of this thing.
We had
more of a pain than it was worth.
And now you're like, this is my problem.
We had a Sony Trinitron for years when I was growing up, and my parents couldn't hear it, but it had this super high pitch.
Yeah.
For the longest time,
a lot of the TVs
do you not hear?
Yeah. No, I had a Panasonic like that. You just high pitched whining. Like
they finally got rid of it.
It's a bad capacitor.
Okay, I have a question for you. I'm coding a game right now. It's got 25 icons, unique icons that it needs to get designed. I do a ranged estimate. If I did say anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour at the low and high end, what is that? 15 times.
How many icons is it?
25. So it's 25
hours to
25 hours at the most. That's just for initial concepts. And then there's like, so we'll call it like 12 to 40 hours for 25 icons.
Yeah, your minimum hours would be like 8. Even that's like 15 minutes each.
Which is crazy.
That's pretty fast. Or if it's an hour.
The problem is when you see a line item for icons and it says, oh yeah, we need $4,000 for that or whatever it is, it's like, what?
It'd be hard to stomach. Yeah, I don't know. You might have to figure out how to disguise it.
Well, no, I mean, like, it is what it is. It's like,
right, but if you itemize that out, that makes people.
You know, if I can build those icons into the different things that they go into, and it would probably feel like a lot less. Anyways, it's frustrating when that happens. Another thing too that people don't realize a lot of the time is the rule book is like a quarter to a half of the game cost, which is a hard pill to swallow as well.
Yeah.
Like I just had a recent client say, "Great, let's do it. Can we, but we want to do the rule book in house. No problem. Sounds good." And a lot of time when they do that, we'll just say, "Do you want us to do the spread templates for you, so you can just kind of plug the information in and all the styles are already done."
Right.
And that's a nice happy medium kind of thing. Anyways.
No. Well, I guess we should ask, because we're waiting for Scott Demerstrup to play a thing. Has anybody, Dave, play any games they want to talk about?
Just D&D tonight. That's it.
Played that Path of Iridia. It's amazing. I played a few other things too.
That's different than Gems of Iridicia?
It is. It's called Iridia.
Cool.
The Paths We Dare Tread.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like, do you know who Cody Miller is? Zia?
Who?
Cody Miller.
No, I do not.
He's the designer of Zia. XIA, you know that game? Zia?
I do, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And this is amazing too. It is a masterpiece, in my opinion.
A masterpiece.
It is. It's just so good. I mean, I play. You know how I play a lot of all these games, and it's like we bounce on them so quickly. My group is just like this is not fun. We're moving on, which sucks because these games. I know the people that make these games put a ton of time in them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're done with it in like 3 to 4 hours, which sucks.
Yeah.
Is it a legacy?
No, but it's a campaign game.
Oh, so okay. So it's like the
it's campaign.
replayability is like
Replayability, yeah. You don't really. I mean, you can replay it. I don't. We would not replay it.
No.
Let me see what else have I played recently.
Four. What was four?
Went back and played Newton the other day. Remember Newton?
I do remember that was like the cat's pajamas for like
it's good
for like 2 weeks. Everybody, that was
Yeah.
all anybody could talk about. And then,
I think of the Apple device when you say Newton. I don't know what that's.
Yeah.
and then it vanished.
Isaac Newton.
Oh, okay.
It was like inventing stuff. What else did I play? Castle Combo is amazing. Have you guys played the Castle Combo game yet? I think we talked. Have we talked about this? The 3x3 tableau builder where every character is unique.
No.
And you have like people in the castle and people in the village, and they're kind of like they're themed like nobles in the castle and regular people in the village. It's really good. It's a really good combo game and like chaining. Played Ingenious. You remember Ingenious?
I do.
Still good. Still works.
What was the game I was? Oh no, I ended up talking about. We were talking about mean games where like you get to be mean in the game, and we were talking about that stuff. And somebody reminded me about the game Intrigue. Remember the game Intrigue?
I never played that one. I know it though.
Incredibly mean game that only lasts like a half hour, 45 minutes, so you don't feel bad about like the game where basically you have to bribe people, but they are under no obligation to actually follow through on the bribe. Where it's like, oh well, if you give me that job, I will absolutely, it's like I will pay you. When we collect the income, I will pay you $2,000 out of the income. It's like, okay, I'll give you that job. But where's the money? I'm not gonna fucking pay you. You're just like
that's Stefan Dora.
Yeah.
I never played it.
Oh, it's so good. And like I said, it's like but yeah, it's super mean. So it's just it's one of those.
So it's
games.
like a deal making game, and you don't have to keep your end of the deal.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not up for those kind of games.
Kind of like also I mean, I was thinking other mean games, and we mentioned Santiago earlier today, but I also was thinking about Lifeboats. It's another mean game where it's all negotiation, then you vote and you heave people to the sharks.
Yeah.
Neuheimat or Estates, also very mean-spirited game. You've never played Neuheimat? Man,
I never came around to it.
I have got to play Neuheimat with you.
Do I have to?
Well, I mean, I think you'd really enjoy it. And by really enjoy it, you'd be really...
I think the mean games are less exciting to me these days.
But it isn't like a take that. It's just really mean. Like you only win by like stepping over the dead bodies of your enemies. I mean, it's just like that's so you can't feel bad. You just gotta play better. So you don't you aren't the one that's getting hammered or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. There's
I can't think of any mean games like that I like.
You don't like Santiago?
No, I do.
Well, that's mean.
It is. I usually get irrigated people though, right? Like, because you could be bribed, right? Wasn't that part of the game? Like, I'll pay you $1 to put the water in my fields or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like you get to, if you were the person that was in charge of the irrigation, then you would, I mean, like people would bribe you to make sure that you absolutely gave them, you got your water, right? But then you always ended up in a situation where, if they didn't want to do it, they didn't have to. You had to kind of hope. You put hope in there, and hope that they would come through for you.
I remember not getting watered many, many times in that game.
Yeah, and I mean, and then you swear vengeance, and then you get that vengeance, and then you feel good about yourself because you got your vengeance.
Did you guys see the Matt Leacock announcement today?
No.
Oh, the
pandemic system, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, I
which
knew
is
about that a while
why.
ago.
But I mean, how many pandemic games
I've
are we
played
gonna
it.
freaking have?
It's great. I
Never
played it 3
enough.
times. It's very good, very good. I loved it. But I like Pandemic.
Well, no, and as long as they
And
and as long as
it's
that
not
stuff comes
vanilla
out,
Pandemic. It's not vanilla. It's basically it's really Lord of the Rings, but with a pandemic mechanism. It's really cool. I thought it was great.
hmm.
And he had tons and tons of variety in that game, like based on the stories and stuff. And it's really good. It's fun. I'm excited for it.
I just, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's just, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? I would rather more things come out of than not. You know what I mean? Like,
well, no, but it's kind of like, it's like, oh, it's like all of the movies are just like regurgitations and remakes of like, past
what people want,
creations.
man.
People don't want new ideas.
I don't think so. So I looked at the top 10 movies last year. Not a single original title.
Well, I remember
Let me see if I
we
can bring
used
the list up.
what was the I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was God dang it. Yeah, no, it was yeah, I mean it's like it's all remakes
Inside Out
or
2, Deadpool and
yeah.
Wolverine, Despicable Me 4, Moana 2, Dune Part 2. Oh wait, here's one original, Wicked. Godzilla and King
I mean,
Kong, The
is
New
Wicked really
Empire.
original? I mean, it's still based
Technically it
off of
is. I mean, it's based on a musical.
well, and that's
Kung Fu
just it.
Panda
So
4. Like what? Everything is just so annoying to me now.
see, we're all getting crotchety and
I know I'm
old.
just getting a crotchety. Like I can't have fun with stuff like that anymore.
And you know what the sad part is? Most of the original stuff that comes out gets poo-pooed because it doesn't have that immediate recognizability.
I guess YOLO was a original.
What's that?
I don't know. A quirky, playful, exuberant. What is it?
That tells me nothing so far.
What? Oh wait, I lost it. Where'd it go? I lost it. In a nutshell, I'm trying to find it in a nutshell. Why is it not? It's not telling me. Come on. Useless.
Useless,
I guess
all
it's
of
like
you.
an Asian movie about kickboxing or something. I don't know. It's called YOLO. It's
Okay.
foreign.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah. But it came up on the list of top movies of the year. Pegasus 2? Is that a movie? I don't remember Pegasus
I
1.
don't know. You tell me. You're the one reading it off.
Oh, this is fun. Another foreign film.
He does have a sound.
Anyway, those were the top grossing movies of the 2024, according to ChatGPT.
I yeah, I don't know. I don't
Yeah, it's
have.
just so depressing. It's so depressing. Gladiator 2. Give me some new stuff, please. So I don't care that the Lord of the Rings game has more stuff.
Now, didn't Gladiator 2 go over kind of like a wet fart? Like nobody really cared about it. Am I
I don't care. I mean,
misremembering?
I love Gladiator, but I don't really care about it. It didn't attract me. Didn't make me want to see it.
Well, you saw the original, right?
I did. I love the original. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
Inside Out 2, but yeah, okay. So Venom: The Last Dance, Gladiator 2, Beetlejuice, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Bad Boys: Ride or Die. You got any originals here? Kingdom, Planet of the Apes. That's another thing. Twisters, that's a sequel. It Ends with Us. I guess that's original. Alien Romulus. The Wild Robot, Quiet Place, Day One. That's another movie in the series. Anyway, nothing. Joker, Folly Adieu. Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. Nothing's original anymore. There's nothing. It's very, very few. Furiosa, sequel. Anyway, I'll stop. No, the movies depress me these days, man. It's a bummer. Kubrick had said Alien Romulus was good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Come on, Scott Demers. We can do our. I have 2 sets of
Initials?
initials. Yeah, so
2 sets. Amazing.
um, but yeah. What else is going on in this world? Besides, it isn't political, so I'm not gonna like get really annoyed if
Oh,
I
you
talk
know
about
what?
it.
Yeah, we need to make like a list of topics or something like weekly.
Well, I thought maybe you'd talk a little bit about your like freaking thing, you know.
Well, what do you want? Which one? 25 years or the
Yeah,
Hall of Fame?
I mean, you do have a freaking, you know,
I can.
uh,
I can talk about it.
well, there you go.
Which one? You want to talk about 25 years?
Well, I mean, you got the website that's been around for a while or
Yeah,
whatever.
so today was the 25th anniversary of this website that I created back in January of 2000 on a whim because there was no websites with board games on them, and I wanted to track my collection. We had come up with this like little rating system of like we had like a 10 by 10 grid of ratings, like like luck and strategy and all that, all these. I wish I could find that paper. It's gone. But yeah, it was just the game group I joined when I moved back to Texas from uh, Bay Area. Everybody was getting these games imported, and we were like, we can't. Like, how do you learn about these games? There was no information. And so I got invited into this private mailing list called Diggers, Desert Island Gamers, which was like an invite only group which talked about Euro games. And I got invited and they're like, okay, well, you got to fill out an application. I'm like, okay. And I literally had to like write a like why you should put me in this group, one of those kinds of things, right? It was like a little like, this sucks. I got to do what? And so I wrote up a thing. And I'm like, I got invited. I got the invitation was extended to me, and I joined the group. And in Yahoo groups, you could go back through all the history and like look at past posts, right? Because it had it all on the website. And I started digging into it. I'm like, this is amazing. There's like hundreds and hundreds of games being talked about here that I was all interested in too, right? All the Euro games, everything from like 10 years going, maybe it wasn't around for 10 years, it was maybe around for 5 years before I joined it. But it was very, very active posting of a private mailing list, all talking about how they liked what games they like, what games they didn't like. And it was just amazing. Anyway, I said, this should not be behind a mailing list. Let's do something about this. So I'm like, maybe let's create a website. And I had previously had a website called 3D Game Geek because I was into 3D games back in the day. It was hot. And that sort of failed. It was basically a little community driven website about 3D game news. But I wrote it in a weekend and then I took that code and converted it into board games and then launched it. And we basically just were adding in all our game collections as the first like 500 games in a database. Like if you go through the numbers in order, that's our collections. Like as the group, everybody had like a couple hundred games, and we entered them all in. Like the amount of games that was in the original version of Board Game Geek is like many people have many times more of that in game collection these days. Now it's like it was just like, oh, how quaint. And then we would manually take the session reports from the mailing list and insert them into Board Game Geek's database. With permission, of course. We asked everybody's permission. We didn't just copy everything. And they're like, yeah, sure, post it. And then over time, we just got tired of doing that. Like we were just entering data all day. We had day jobs, right? It's not like it's not a full-time thing. And so eventually I'm like, you know what? I'll just make like a user system where people could just upload their own things and it'll be great. And that's where it kicked off. That's really where it kicked off. Like 2002 or 2003 is when the user system went live. So people could create accounts and upload their own stuff, which was the key to making it the thing it is today, the community.
Hmm.
And I think the first year, I don't know how many users we had. You know what? I do have the numbers. Let me tell you. I can bring it up in my little program. So when we first started making user accounts was 2001, June of 2001, 100 user accounts. The next month was 50, and then 100, and then 78. So it was like little trickles by trickles. So it wasn't until something happened in December of 2002 where we went from 545 a month to 3,000 in 1 month. And then we were getting like 1,000 new users a month after that, up through 2004, it looks like, maybe. So just slow and steady, everybody, over time, just the wheels kept kind of spinning. And I think now we're doing like last month there was 37,000 new users,
Woo.
which is unreal.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's 1 month. Of course, it was December. That's the biggest month of the year. And then so I remember the first server I had was under my desk, like a little desktop, computer.
Yeah.
Just leave it on all day. And so my roommate was like a pro gamer. He ran the website Shack News, which is like a 90s video game website. And he's like, something's sucking down the bandwidth out of our house. I'm like, oh, that must be me. Because we had DSL. Remember DSL?
Oh yeah.
We were like one of the first. We were one of the first. And so I ran the server out of the house. And then eventually he's like, yeah, I think you need to get that out of the house because it's kind of like it's taking up all our bandwidth. So we relocated it to Dirk's office. He had like a spot in a server rack. He let us, his company let us put it there. And we left it there for a couple of years actually. And then eventually it's like, oh, we got to move it again. And then that's the first when we got into real co-location where we bought servers and hosted them in a place in Dallas. A place called CI Host. And I remember having to drive like 40 minutes to go to the servers. It was really suck. Like I got a thing called remote hands with their services. So I could say, hey, I would call them up and be like, hey, can you reboot the machine? And they would. And then sometimes it wouldn't come back online. So I'm like, okay, I guess I got to go down there. And you'd go down there and the alarms would be going off like, like, okay, well, what's wrong? Oh, the hard drive's bad. You got to call Dell. Dell guy would come out. Like I didn't have like the top of line service. It was like 1 to 2 day service instead of like 4 hours. Like Dell could have a 4 hour service time if you bought it, but we didn't buy that. So we bought like the 1 to 2 day. So we had to wait like a couple days to get a hard drive service to fix it. So the site was down for like multiple days, many times in the year would be to go down for like many days when we were like replacing memory or a hard drive or something like that.
Oh yeah, I can remember. I mean, when I was like, there would be like your scheduled outages, and people would be losing their minds over it.
Yeah, we would schedule an outage every Sunday night where I would do backups, and over time sometimes it'd only be down for like 5 minutes, but then over time it started becoming like, oh, it's down for like a half an hour, 45 minutes, turn an hour. Like, okay, well that's not possible. I can't do this. So eventually we just had to re-architect it so that we could do backups without having to take the website down and stuff like that. Yeah, no, but driving out to the middle of nowhere and it wasn't in Dallas, it was in Bedford, which is a suburb of Dallas.
Oh, Bedford.
Just the half-hour drive just sucked because it was always like, well, shit, what am I gonna do when I get there? Like I don't have any equipment, right? It's like I just have to look at it and see if I can fix it. But then we moved to downtown Dallas where I was only 5 minutes from my house, which was not that. Still sucked because it was in downtown Dallas. And I would drive in and I had like special access. I could get 24-hour access to the building. And that was kind of fun. So I would go in 2 a.m. sometimes and like the security guard be eyeballing me. And I would show my badge and then I would do the hand thing, like a hand scanner and all that stuff. It was like all that. They had like a man trap room where it was like, yeah, that was fun. But not really. I don't miss the days of maintaining our own hardware.
Does anybody remember MUDs, logging into MUDs to play the basically the text games. You know, just
I did in college.
Yeah. I remember there was the first like one of the MUDs I played was this thing called Ivory Tower, and like the guy had to be running it. Like I think the guy who had it or ran the game was on a he was on a like he was like he had to like work at a school or something because it wouldn't come online until like
Until morning.
until like 5 o'clock.
Oh, so he would turn it on at night.
Yeah, so he must have like just started it going and then he'd go through um and then it would go down in the morning. Like it was at a random time between 7:30 and 9 a.m. it would go down. So like you had like, 12, 14 hours to play. But when the weekends came, it was up all weekend. So you must have just let it run, And then but if something happened where like it would get like it was, I remember like there was a few of us that played it, we just loved it. Then it'd be like the weekend's here, we can play all weekend, and then like Saturday it would have like some just computers like right something goes wrong and
Yeah.
it got locked up or whatever and you couldn't do anything or whatever. It was like, well, he wouldn't know or whatever or didn't check on it because he would have to go in and like reboot it and everything like that, and he wouldn't do it and you'd be sitting there trying to log in over and over again. I remember. Yeah, no, he was.
Yeah, there'd
He
be
was,
many times when my cleaning ladies would unplug my computer.
Oh,
Like we had, I basically lived with a bunch of guys who we hired cleaning people. So I remember like specifically, I'd be at work, right? And like I would say, oh, I'm gonna check the website during lunch or whatever. Oh, it's down. Okay, well, shit, I can't fix it till I go home. And I would go home and I'd be like, oh, somehow the computer got turned off.
yeah.
And,
No, it was.
I have to flip it back on.
He did run it on because I remember like now I remember like it was something like Wisconsin EDU. So yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, that's totally it. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, we moved to the cloud. I forget what year, but it wasn't that long ago. But it's been such an amazing thing now. Just being able to push a button and create servers and spend money like water. Like I would have to really like consider the expense of a new server, right? Like, oh my gosh, how much are we gonna? Because the servers are not cheap, right? They were like $5,000 to $10,000. I remember I spent $10,000 on one machine. That was just crazy.
Yeah. Ah, the good old days.
Good old days. But those machines would last us for like a while.
Well, yeah.
I remember when I got the first like 5 machines, I named them all the resources of Catan. So I had one called brick, sheep, wheat, ore. I'm like, brick is down again. Damn it. Ore is messed up. We'd have the name, it could.
Although it does bring up, you could call up Dell or whoever was your provider and say, I will gladly trade you 2 sheep
for one ore. Yeah.
Or some wood.
Dragon. We did a dragon and a phenix because Tichu.
Then we started naming them. When's the last time you logged into LinkedIn?
Oh, right.
What's that?
When's the last time you logged into LinkedIn?
Me?
Yesterday.
Scott.
I mean like a week ago, a couple weeks ago, maybe.
Accept my LinkedIn request.
Okay.
I feel like
I really don't use it that much.
I haven't logged into LinkedIn. I remember I set up an account like literally like 20 years ago or something, and I haven't logged into it like since. And every once in a while I still get an email. It's like, Lance, there are several jobs that fit your user profile. I was like, okay, whatever.
I used to use it quite a bit because I had to, right? So Lance Meister, workforce manager at US Bank, Moorhead, Minnesota.
There you go.
Where's my connections?
That might be slightly out of date.
That's extremely out of date.
I don't see you.
That was a very good.
I have 80. So I have 80 connections that requests.
I mean, honestly, let me see if I can even log in. I'm sure it's tied up to an old email that doesn't even exist.
All I know is it says pending.
That's
all I get. That's all I'm saying, Scott.
I'm looking for you.
I mean, this is not a major thing on my agenda.
I mean, I'm going to do it because
apparently it is though, Scott.
There you go. I did it.
I know it's worth disrupting the entire.
It says, "Hello, Scott. I'm the designer, Dragon's Down, and a few other board games. I'm retired. I'm making board games my full-time thing."
Holy crap! It remembers me. I'm in.
Are you on the same computer from 20 years ago?
I have 4 notifications. Ooh, I'm eligible to add a workspace verification for US Bank. No, I don't think that's gonna work. Yeah, no.
Anyway, this was not a hey, let's all live stream us looking at our LinkedIn. But
so another thing I miss about old BGG days is we used to do April Fool's jokes.
Right.
We put a lot of work into them. Like I created a Kickstarter clone in a weekend. And that was a lot of work. I remember really burning the midnight oil on that one to get that thing up. But it was basically a fully functional Kickstarter with, I mean, obviously from the front end, not the back end stuff. But people could create projects and you could pledge your geek gold. And it was just all for, people could make silly projects and there was lots of jokes that came out of that. I wish I had an archive of all that, but I don't think I do.
Because it was hosted on your servers and not on AWS.
Yeah, no, I created it inside of BGG and I created a database for it. And I did the whole thing. I thought at one point I might do a crowdfunding thing, but it never came to fruition.
Right.
Do you remember the Aldi
Starter?
Aldi Starter. It was Geek Starter.
Geek Starter.
It was called Geek Starter. Do you guys remember the Trollolol Rickroll joke?
Oh, I remember the Trollolol.
So we coded it up so that when you came on the website, it would say, "Congratulations to our newest admin," and it would put your username there. And then you would of course click on it, and it took you right to the Trollolol. If you've never seen Trollolol, you should go to trollolol.com. Hold on, do you guys remember the URL? It's Trollolol something, but I don't remember how many.
I don't know it.
Where did the Trollolol website go?
How does that spelled?
I'm gonna give it to you in a second. I don't know, maybe the website's gone. But here, I'll send you the video. It was the best. Like the website would start up and it would autoplay this song. And it's just amazing. If you've never seen it, it's so good.
I haven't seen it.
And so we basically rickrolled the entire user base because everybody had to click on that. You see your name on the front homepage of Board Game Geek. You're like, I gotta click on it.
It's funny. If that had happened before, I would go, I'm very confused by this. If it happened now, I would go, Aldi has lost his mind. Like I know him on Discord and some phone calls or some live streams, and that man has lost his mind if he's made me an admin.
Well, that's what made everybody click on it.
Absolutely.
It was so great. It was just like, oh, I'll just make it so that it said you're an admin now. Of course, it was a different scale and a different time.
Yeah, right.
But it was fun. And there was a day where we made Monkey Auto Races #1. There's a game called Monkey Auto Races that we pushed it to #1 on April Fool's Day.
Nice.
There was a lot. I'm trying to remember some of the other stuff. I don't remember. I do remember the Geek Starter. I do remember Trollolol. Can't remember some of the other ones. Can you hear it?
No.
Oh, I'm not playing it. But anyway, I was wondering if it Trollolol was great. Huh. Let's see.
Trollolol.
I want to find this. I want to see this.
I put it in the chat.
There we go. Thank you.
Trying to think of some other Board Game Geek tidbits.
I'm sure there's plenty.
Yeah. Well, I quit my day job in 2005. I was going to quit 2004, but something happened in my family, let's call it circumstances, that I couldn't quit it. And then waited 2005. I went to the Christmas party. The next day I resigned.
Oh, no kidding.
And I gave a 2 weeks notice.
From where?
3D Realms. And gave a 2 weeks notice, went into my boss's office, told him about it. Then I went back to my desk to kind of like, well, I'll just try to clean up everything I've got in progress of finishing code or whatever I was planning to do. I get a phone call. He's like, come back in my office. I walk back in his office. He goes, you can leave today. And when I went back to my desk, the computer was gone. Like someone had taken it. That quickly.
Oh,
Yeah.
As in,
I would never take the code.
right, as in subterfuge to make sure you didn't do something nefarious? Is that?
Maybe so.
And if you would have taken the code, you would have already done it.
Oh yeah. There was no reason for me to.
Yeah, you wouldn't walk in and go, I resign, and now give me an hour or two while I download my code base.
No, there was no reason for me to. I was moving on for sure. Like I was leaving the video game industry completely. It wasn't like I was going to a competitor or anything like that. I told them, I'm like, hey, I'm just like, I'm just gonna go work on my board game website, and they understood. They're like, yeah, we kind of could tell. I was like, I think I had checked out like a year before, honestly, because I decided the year before to quit the day job.
Right.
And I just like, but since I couldn't, that I kind of just went. It was a rough 6 months to get to the end of the year, and then I quit.
Right.
It was not my best 6 months of work for the company that I worked for.
I think all of us have that kind of a history, right? Of us losing our zest for a job and then finding a different job that you just were enthralled with, and that's where strong performance comes from, right?
Yep.
So no, I was gonna say, like when I was a workforce manager at US Bank, there was this employee, and she just her boss talked about her like just glowing, like can do no wrong. And and these are people that are just on the phones taking calls or whatever and doing stuff. But I would always like catch her like fucking around and not doing something, like just always constantly. And I'd be like, hey, you got to get on. You know what? I forget what her name was anymore, but you got to get on her. Yeah, she's not taking calls. Oh, I'm sure she's, and then she'd always like, and I'd see them like talk. I could see it like get up and walk over because like we were on the way it was situated. We were kind of like up higher, like you were at a pharmacy. And so, it was just like, and you could kind of see, and then they go and they just talk for like 15 minutes or whatever. And just be laughing and laughing and laughing while I needed her on the phone doing her work. And then she'd come, I see her boss walk back to her desk, and I'd see her pick up the phone. Yeah, she was working on something. And I just got done talking to her about it. She's going to be off the phone for like half hour or so. And I'd be like, oh, Jesus, whatever. But it was like, could do no wrong. Could just do no wrong, nothing. And then finally one day, like, I don't know what happened exactly, but like there was she was gonna like quit and go to a different company or something like that. And on her last day of work, she basically just fried her computer. Like she knew just enough to like go in and like
wipe it out.
Just deleted everything off of it. Just like completely like, so like we had somebody like come in to like sit at her desk, and it was like the computer wouldn't even turn on anymore. It was just like, and I was just like, classic. And then it was just like, and then her boss was, yeah, what's wrong with the computer? And I was like, well, she trashed it. And what do you mean? I was like, somebody went, oh, it couldn't have been her. I was like, she's the only person who can log into it. I was just like, and still, even though this person had left and gone to do something else, her boss is still defending her. Oh, you're wrong. It couldn't possibly have been her. And I was just like,
what's kind of funny about that is, someone posted in the chat the idea that this is pretty much standard procedure, but it still gets reported as if it's not. Like when Robert Saleh was fired as the head of the Jets, right, the coach of the Jets, they said, and he was escorted out of the building. No, literally, that's just standard operating procedure and means literally nothing.
Yeah, so you don't take anything with you,
right? 100%.
We had a
you
guy
mentioned something actually, but what happened to elevated pharmacies? Wasn't that like a 70s thing where they were like up on?
People realized it was stupid. I think.
What was the point of that though?
I think it was so you couldn't like
reach up and grab the stuff.
Reach up and grab the drugs. I think that's what it was. I mean, that's honestly what I believed it was.
Was it not from to establish a position of authority?
Well, I don't. I
just remember when I was a kid, there was all the pharmacies were like,
up high,
million miles
yeah.
high.
I think it's just so like, yeah. I mean, like if you can like reach up and grab
Bottle.
a handful of pills or a bottle of pills or whatever. No.
Anyway, now it's behind plate glass.
Yeah, exactly. No. I still remember there was a guy that I worked with, and he and his manager butted heads constantly, and like he was always looking for a way to. He was just good enough. He was actually good at his job when you get him to do it, but like getting him to do his job was just next to impossible. And I remember like he finally was one of those things where it was like he like refused to get back on the phone because of whatever reason, just because he was like, it was a weekend and there's no like big manager there to flex against. And so then he left like a threatening phone call for like one of the guys on his and left it on his voicemail, like saying something like, "Oh, I saw you were emailing my boss about how don't worry, I'll get you." And it's like he was like perfect, and he just played that for HR, and they're like, "Yeah, he's gone." And I remember I've never seen a guy like his boss. It was like if he could have been rubbing his hands together. He was just with a smile from ear to ear as he pulled him into an office. And I guess like the entire conversation was it's like he just the entire time he smiled. We're not going to argue. We're not going to fight. You're going to go back to your desk. You're going to get your keys, and I'm going to walk you out the door, and I'm going to take your badge, and then I'm going to mail everything that's at that desk that belongs to you, to your house. He handed him a piece of paper. What's your address?
Wow.
Yeah, just you threaten somebody we work with, and he's like, I wasn't being serious. Doesn't matter. You're gone.
Right.
Just see you later.
My story that's like that is I worked at a software company of about 5,500 people, global organization, and this was right when the Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee tape came out.
Oh yeah.
And this guy wanted to send it to his buddy, and it was a foreign name, but the guy's name was very similar to an alias that went to a whole bunch of people, and he mistyped it, and he accidentally sent the video via corporate email to 300 people or something, and so of course, and at that time when you were off site, you could recall email and it would pull it if you were connected, but we were all working in the field, so we'd be working. You'd see that there'd be the message, then there would be message recall requested, right? And then so then you would purposely requested. Right, so you'd look at the email before you if you had it downloaded before the recall could go through and delete it, and you go, well then. And I just remember one of my buddies looking at me and going, hey, we should check in a half hour. That dude's name isn't going to be in the email system. And sure enough, there was, I'm so sorry. The apology email goes through, and then a half hour later, that dude didn't work at the company anymore.
I know. I mean, I still remember the day that my boss at the video store, he bought like 50 copies of that video. And when they came in, he was so excited. And like we charged, it was like, for like late 90s, early 2000s prices, $10 to rent but man, we couldn't, for like the first 2 weeks, we could not keep them. Like, it was like they were people came in and like, I hear you have nope, none of them come back. It was just one of those things where it was just.
I've never seen it.
Whatever.
We bought it. My group of friends bought it.
Yeah.
It's a slice of crazy.
It is.
It's a slice of crazy.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It's a slice of crazy. That's a perfect way to describe it. And it is so late 90s.
It is. It's so late 90s.
It is a nice portal.
And I gotta say, Tommy Lee, exhausting. It must be exhausting. There were so many of like the whole movie scenes that were just like, wow, that guy just never turns off.
Yeah, it's just
It's just he just on.
Well, it's
he's
called
amped up to a
cocaine.
million constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it cocaine?
It's called cocaine. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was?
It's,
Oh, okay.
well, I mean, I don't know for sure.
You sure?
But I'm just gonna say it's called cocaine.
Because there were some scenes in that movie that I think the cocaine might have had an interference with.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying. You know, I mean, I don't know if you ever been around people that like
I
are
don't think I
cocaine.
have.
Oh, it's.
I mean, other than this call, I assume.
Well, maybe that movie, that home movie, was basically the.
There was a guy that I worked with at US Bank, and I don't know. I mean, this is the most perfect explanation I could ever say. I mean, and this is coming from me, and I'm a total square. I've never done drugs, right? But I mean, like literally, I never said anything about drugs around him ever, ever, ever. And this is a guy that like he would come out and drink beers with us around Salon, right? And one day he like sent me an email and he said, "Hey, I need some help with something over here." And I was like, "All right." And I was like, "What's up, man?" You know, it's like because I thought it was like a workforce thing or maybe it was like a technical issue because like that's a lot of stuff I did. And he's like, "Yeah, hey, do you got your cocaine here?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Well, I mean, do you have it here?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, yeah, you said you had some cocaine." I was like, and I'm not going to say his name.
He said, "No, I'm going to blow my nose."
Yeah, and
I'm going to go blow my nose.
Let's. I mean, it was there. Let's call him Herbert. You know, because that's how his name. I was like, Herbert, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, the last night at the bar, you were talking about like the fact that you do cocaine. I was like, no, dude, I wasn't. He's like,
wrong guy.
And then he just kind of looked at me. He's like, "You're not going to tell anybody about this conversation, are you?" I was like, "Dude, I don't even want to have this conversation."
Yeah, you're like, not 20 years later on an anonymous call.
But that's just, it's, I knew a guy who used to, and this is horrible, but he said the most fun he would have at a party where he knew there were people that were, he would walk over to somebody who he knew was a user. And he would just pick a guy out at the party at random, and he'd say, "Hey, just so you know, that guy's got a bunch of cocaine with him at this party, and he's not going to admit it, but he's got some. So, and I'm never going to talk to you about this again. But that guy right there." And then he would just sit back and watch that guy follow that guy around the party, like the entire time he was there. Just like trying to get up the nerve to ask him like if he had any drugs. He said that's like the most fun you can have. Just watching these people just chase each other around. They don't even know why. It's just like, it seems like a very cruel joke, and it also seems like it'd be very funny to watch. But
noted for next time I'm with you, Lance.
Yeah, I'll be like, what? Cool, I guess. What?
Excuse me, got a frog in my throat.
All right, let's do one of these two that I got here.
I'm so good at this game. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right.
I don't feel that way, Scott.
Honestly, it's like I might as well just mute myself.
But
it takes a while to get the rhythm.
Yeah, you say that every time.
I mean, although there'll be weeks where I go without anything coming to my mind. I mean, that happens. Yeah.
We'll wait for Forrest to get back here.
That would be my only chance to beat him. I think he beat me like 4-0 last time.
One of the people that was watching the live stream in the chat was like, "Lance, you gotta do the biggest initials game ever."
Yeah, it would have been great.
I'm not gonna run.
We should have grabbed that one from the pack.
Did
you get the new stuff yet?
If I hadn't had to go to a meeting, like if I was there logged in at 2 and I was gonna be there like until I had to go get my son, I absolutely would have just dug out my box and done one with everybody there. But I didn't, I didn't have time. Like, You should have just gotten yours out for when you backed it.
We didn't think about it.
Did you finally get yours, by the way?
I only have the one.
Okay.
I never got my expansions.
What are we talking about? Is this
And the initials game, like the physical copy of the game.
Got it.
Like there are hard copy versions. Did he make new stuff?
Yeah, I gotta pick them up. I still haven't purchased them. You know, it's because I'm lame and I'm lazy. So, yeah. Come on, Forrest. I had a customer service thing that was just back and forth with this person. Earlier I had a thing where like they didn't get like a set of extra dice that was supposed to be in one of their game boxes that didn't include it, and we didn't have any more. And I was like, this is like a past problem. And I said, I don't have any more, but we will print some new ones when we do it, and I'll be happy to send you more dice then. And like he actually went to the trouble of like filing a complaint with us with like I forget what it was. No, it wasn't Better Business Bureau. It was like for his actual like his actual, God, what did he call it again? I mean, I could find it here, but I don't want to say it out loud so nobody can track him down or something like that.
Our Better Business Bureau rating is very low.
They all are. They all are because
it
doesn't, because anybody they want.
Hey, we're an F. We got an F rating.
I mean, anybody that wants can submit something, and you can't really do anything about it. Like you have to
pay.
Yeah, and it's just
well, we used to be able to respond, and we did, and I'm just like, why are we responding? Why does this matter?
No, he was like, I will. He's like, okay, it's like you won't send me the dice. I'm going to file a complaint with insert the state they live in, Department of Justice Consumer Protection Division. And I was like, all right, whatever. And like literally like about 3 weeks later, we got a letter from the Department of Justice state like said, we recently sent you a complaint we received about your business. We have not yet received your response. For convenience, I enclosed a copy of the document. Please send us a response as soon as possible. To like let us know what you're going to do for this person or whatever. And it was like literally one of those things where it's like whatever. And it was just and then I just said I didn't do anything with it. And then once we had the dice, I just sent him the dice. But anyway, he reached out and he was like, oh, hey, this is going to my wrong address. And I was like, okay, well, once it gets there, we can have it returned to us and then we can resend it. And he's just like, well, that's not good enough. He's like, you need to reroute it. And I was like, well, I can't, I can't. They don't have it as an option. And I was like, why don't you contact FedEx and ask them to hold it at a hub? It's like you can sign up for delivery manager and you can do that. And he's just like, I don't have to. I was like, look, it's like you have the old address. I was like, can you contact the people that live there? And it's going to be delivered on Friday. Just have them hold it for you, and you can just go pick it up. And I pulled up it's like you literally live 11 minutes away by car from this. He's like, I don't know who they are. I was like, I realize that's annoying, but I mean, I was like, otherwise you're gonna have to wait for it to be returned to us, and I'll send it out to you again.
Yeah, when you complain to me about it not getting shipped to you, typically somebody lets you know if if you've moved.
And in full disclosure, I don't know why we send it to his old address, because we have his new address on file. I have zero clue how that happened. I mean, it's just it doesn't make any sense. It even has we even have the correct address in our file. So I mean, I don't know. It's because if he's placed orders with us or something like that, and like our system just superimposed like his old address on there or whatever. There's
this whole conversation is just too painful for me because this is kind of my life right now since our Kickstarter's live.
Yeah, right? So it's just one of those things, and it's just like, and then I was like, but look, I was like, you're gonna have to wait for it to get returned to us, and then I'm going to have to send it out, which I'll gladly do, and we'll pay for it. But I mean, I can't just not going to send you another one and hope that one gets back there, or just. And then he's like, and he finally emailed me back, and he's just like, I talked to the person who lives there. They're just going to hold the package for me. I was like, thank you. Why did I have to write 17 emails back and forth about this? I mean, I'm glad he's going to get his stuff, and I'm glad he's fine, and everything like that. But it's very frustrating when like one person takes like a half hour to handle, when like 99% of the people take 0 time to handle. But anyway.
You should just be like me and only sell, 1,000 copies of your game, and then you don't have that big of a customer service problem. You don't make any money or anything, but
well, that's okay. You've got all the money in the world, and you retired early, so carefully.
I didn't retire early.
I know. Just allow me to do my impression of you.
57.
All right, 56. My initials are F. So Frank. Foxtrot. Here we go. It is widely accepted that this phrase was first coined in 1916. Number 2. Had famous signatures. Number 3. Is sometimes connected to money. Number 4. Connected to a famous Broadway phenomenon. Number 5. Only men are involved.
Matt?
Go for it.
Founding Fathers?
Founding Fathers is correct. Well done, Matthew.
The Canadian.
Well done. Well done. The Canadian. You should all be ashamed. Ashamed.
What's the Broadway connection?
Think about it.
Gotta be in the room where
Yes,
it
Scott.
happens.
Think
The
of
room
that.
where it happens.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I had a whole lot of nothing, which is pretty common.
All right. Clue number 1 debuted in 1961. Number 2, associated with fire.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Fred Flintstone.
And
Good.
Flintstone. Come on, that's fire, right?
That's really good. Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
I
a-
would give
that's
it
a
to you if
stretch.
it's not
Still
that
not
answer.
it.
Dang, I gave up my clue.
Yeah.
Clue number 3 has a cosmic connection. Clue number 4 has connections to Jessica Alba.
Matt,
Michael, go for it.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four is correct.
good.
Fantastic Four.
Cosmic rays, man.
Cosmic Rays, baby. Cosmic Rays. Here we go. Clue number 1. Connected to John Goodman.
Aldi.
Bush, damn
Go
it.
for it.
Fred Flintstone.
Fred Flintstone is correct. I was just like...
Aldi pulling out the forest. Nice.
I was just like... Oh, I saw the next one coming up. I was like, "Oh, Aldi, you better."
I better be on my game.
Yeah, you better.
Gotta get my Fred Flintstone clue.
All right, here we go. Is associated with World War II. Clue number 1 is associated with World War II. Clue number 2. Debuted in 1994. Clue number 3. At one point, had only one person.
Matt.
Go for it.
Freedom Fighters.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Freedom 5.
Forrest and Scott.
There we go.
Let's go.
Clue number 4. Connected to unexplained aerial phenomenon.
Oh god. Should have waited.
I wouldn't have got that.
Scott.
Go for it.
Actually, I don't think it's gonna be right. Firefly.
And Forrest, you get
Oh, man,
you
give
get all the
me, give me,
clues.
let's
two
go.
clues.
You gotta give me.
get 2 clues all to yourself.
Throw it to me.
Clue number 5. Known for sonic highways, 1 by 1, and the color and the shape. Final
Sonic
clue.
Highways.
This rock band was started by former Nirvana drummer Dave Grohl.
Forest.
Forrest!
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Point me.
All right, here we go. Number 1.
In my defense, Firefly was a model of a Sherman tank used in World War II, and so that's why I was going with that.
It's also one word, I think.
Yeah,
I
that
think
too.
it is too.
Clue
Could be.
number 1. What are you eating, Scott?
Peanuts.
I'm eating some peanuts.
Popcorn? Pistachios? Clue number 1. This dates back to the 1960s, though an exact date is not known. Clue number 2. It is sometimes connected to punishments. Clue number 3. At a certain point of the year, it occurs daily. Clue number 4. It is often connected to auctions. Clue number 5. This is played by friends, family, co-workers, and also complete strangers.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Fantasy football.
Fantasy football is correct. That is
Nope.
correct. Most infuriating thing I do every year, and I just hate it. I
I
hate it
gave
the
up.
entire year.
I spent a year. Yeah.
I've been in my league for so long.
I had to stop doing it.
Yeah, I just, and every year there's something happens every year that makes me hate football for like 2 weeks. Anyway,
It's called the Vikings in the postseason.
well, that
Yeah,
doesn't help, but
I know. I will say that the greatest day. It was great when I joined and started playing fantasy football because then I cared about every game. It was great when I quit because then I don't give a shit about.
And I don't
any
care
game.
about every game.
yeah.
Right.
All right, here we go. Clue number 1. This features hosts.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Final Four.
Wow!
Ooh.
Wow! I thought that was really vague. I thought that was a super.
All I needed was
vague.
one. All I needed was one taste of Final Four to get there.
Wow!
Features
wow.
what? Hosts?
Yeah, like
Mhm.
because you they host
Yep.
the game.
They
You know,
host the
it's
show,
just
they
like
host
I was like this is super vague. This
It was.
May I ask
You
a
did-
professional courtesy question?
Go ahead.
When you hear the initials, do you guys just like brainstorm a list of possible things?
Yeah,
just
A couple. I have a couple in my pocket.
Oh, I have a piece of paper and I write them down. Like when I play.
Oh no, I don't. I just kind of. I might think of a couple of them and then
That's why you lose.
rely. That is why I lose. Almost guaranteed.
I stopped writing them down. I just have a couple in my pocket.
Evan writes them down.
You got to write
My
them down.
pockets are empty now.
All right. Well, that was
Although
item 6.
maybe not quite empty yet.
Now here's item number 7.
My least favorite person, by the way, on this entire live stream is Kabuki Kid, who every week mocks me by posting the score, where across 3 weeks now I've had a point.
A goose egg. Oh,
Yeah.
what?
I got a point once.
It's a
And I
good,
got half a point once, but I was robbed of it.
it was a good point.
Clue number 1. Used to feature a lot of kissing.
Fantasy football. Sorry.
Ha. Clue number 2. Connected to Nintendo in 1991.
I'm out.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Final Fantasy.
Matt, did you ring in?
I did, but
Do you want to? Or you don't
you
have
gotta
to. You
reprieve
don't have
if
to
you
now.
want.
You're out. Okay. Clue number 3.
no, I rang in. I'll say
No,
something.
you don't have to. You don't have
Oh,
to.
okay.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Okay.
Because theoretically his guess might have been yours. His guess was horrible, so it probably wasn't. But I mean, theoretically it could be. All right. Clue number 3. This had its true debut in 1976. Clue number 4. This features surveys.
Aldi.
Clue number 5. This includes fast money.
Matt,
Go for it.
Family Feud. Richard Dawson,
Nintendo?
lots of kissing.
Was it a video game or something?
Yeah, in 1991 they had a video game and then
Threw me off.
da 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 da. You can't not be happy when you hear
It's such a great theme song.
Evan, the initials are Foxtrot, just so you know.
Was that a Merv Griffin jam? The theme, who wrote the Family
It
Feud?
might have been.
Might have been.
Because Merv Griffin wrote the Jeopardy song.
Oh yeah.
Marv Griffin was pretty prolific.
Remember when he was the serial killer in The Man with Two Brains?
I did not watch that.
Merv Griffin or Richard Dawson?
No, Merv Griffin. Like there's this big long thing where these women are ended up being killed or whatever, and they don't know who it is, and then Steve Martin like stumbles upon the dead body at the end, and he's like, the killer. He's like, Merv Griffin, and he's like, He's
I
like,
remember when Richard Dawson was the villain in Running Man.
He was a good villain.
yeah.
Only in
Running
rerun.
Man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Only in a rerun. He was the only one who got to give him a comeback to a. I'll be back. Only in a rerun. Here we go. Number 1. Connected to the Black Mirror episode called Bandersnatch.
Never saw that.
I did.
Black Mirror is great. Clue number 2. This debuted in 1952. Clue number 3. This included the word sugar until the 1980s. Clue number 4. Blue,
Matt,
orange. Go ahead.
Harry Floss.
And I'll finish the clue number 4. Blue, orange, white, black. Clue number 5. This is known for its famous slogan.
Mm-hmm.
Final clue. Features an animated tiger named Tony.
Evan.
What?
Evan.
Dang it.
Evan.
Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes is correct.
I don't remember the Bandersnatch.
Great, Evan.
They're great. It was a decision. Like you could have Frosted Flakes for your breakfast if you or not. Yeah.
Did you play that? All of it?
Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
I did it like for. I think I got every outcome.
I think I did too. It was a couple. It was like
I'd rather more Black Mirror than less.
Yeah.
Like one show is not enough.
No, I agree.
What the hell's the connection of Frosted Flakes to Black Mirror?
In the Bandersnatch episode where you got to do a choose your own adventure, it was a choice. You could have Frosted Flakes for breakfast or not, and it actually had an effect for later on, depending on if you did it or not.
It was like a branching decision.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Clue number 1. The first word for this is often skipped. Clue number 2. Often seen going through windows. Clue number 3. Comes in a variety of shapes. Clue number 4. Connected to Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Matt.
Evan.
Matt.
Fast food.
And Evan, do you want to keep going?
How is that not fast food?
Oh, I know what it is. Fuck.
Evan, you don't want to go in? Okay.
Yes, I'll go. Evan.
Evan.
French fries.
Mhm.
French fries. Fry lock and I'm on top. Rock you like a cop. Meet while you're up next with your knock knock.
Technically, mine
Walk
could
at the
also be
homies,
correct.
C. Meet walk at the homies, G.
What's embarrassing is that that's one of the things I have written down was French fries, and it still didn't register.
I like my clue. It's often seen going through windows.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you, Aldi. Anyway.
I don't like it at all. That's the one that picked me up.
All right. Pay attention now, Scott.
I know, right?
Clue number 1.
There is one that I'm waiting for. I'm ready to go.
You got it locked and loaded, huh?
Minute I hear, and it damn well better be here, or Lance, I'm never speaking to you again.
No. Clue number 1. This is connected to confusion. Clue number 2. Sadly includes death. Clue number 3. It's an attack.
Matt.
Go for it.
Friendly fire.
Friendly fire, Matthew. You are on
Oh,
fire. You
good
are on
one.
fire.
Good one.
Yeah.
Dang.
All right, here we go.
Evan wasn't even here for the full game. He's beating me by 2.
Here we go. Clue number 1. This is often attached to a warning. Clue number 2. Connected to Johnstown, Pennsylvania in 1889. Clue number 3. This can be deadly. Clue number 4. Occurs relatively suddenly.
Scott.
Matt.
Ooh.
I heard Scott hair before.
Yeah, me too.
As well.
All right, Scott, go. 5,
I don't think it's right.
3, 2.
Flash flood.
Flash flood is correct.
Nice.
Well done.
On the board.
Good one.
My next clue was associated with Led Zeppelin's "When the Levee Breaks."
There you go. That would have been a good one.
Which technically isn't their song, but they did a really good.
It's a good song.
Literally, when you said that the one that for me was Pennsylvania, I'm going, what's a natural disaster that happened in Pennsylvania?
So,
1800s.
Why else do you talk about stuff from 1889?
Interesting factoid: when you listen to "When the Levee Breaks" and you hear the drums, which just have this like weird, like crazy echo that isn't like in a studio. They had him playing in like they were at a big giant like industrial mill, and they actually had him playing in like the basement of it where they had this weird echo, and they were actually recording the music coming up the stairs. So when you hear the drums, that's why they just sound like just different. Anyway.
Oh wow.
Number 1. 3 left. Technically, it's anybody's game. Both Forrest
Really?
and
Wow.
Scott can run the table to tie.
Don't call
for
it
the win.
comeback.
So don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. Here we go. Clue number 1. This term, and I was surprised at this, was first used in 1759. Number 2. This features the dead.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Fresh fish.
I'm
I'm going out. I'm going for the long bombs.
You're swinging.
I'm swinging for the
Swinging
fences.
for the fences, baby. Clue number 3. This involves millions of years. Clue number 4. Known for its energy.
I've got it. Darn, man.
Matthew.
Fossil fuel.
Fossil fuel is correct. Yes.
Nice. Good one.
Well, I guess I won't be tying.
And with that,
Tie
only Aldi can catch
My
Matthew.
goal is to tie Evan.
So if Aldi needs the last 2 to tie, otherwise anybody gets anything else, Matthew wins.
Can you mute Evan?
But remember, I have another set, so we can play a little bit later too.
There's one, man, that if you don't do it, I'm going to be so sad because I'm ready.
Clue number 1. Appeared in 2006's Clerks 2.
Evan. Fantastic Four.
Oh. Well, he wouldn't call that if he was here.
No, yeah, that's already been taken. That was a clue when you weren't here. So we will not accept that.
Unring your buzzer.
We will unring your buzzer.
We'll reset your buzzer.
Thank you.
I disagree with that judge's decision, by the way.
Number 2. Appeared in 1988's Coming to America. Number 3. Has a connection to 1999's Big Daddy. Number 4. Prominently featured next to Michael Keaton in 2016.
Can you guys all wait while I Google something real quick?
Number 5. Appeared in a 2004 film starring Kai Penn and John Cho. Matthew.
Can I say my answer from before now?
You can see what's your answer?
Fast food.
Fast food.
Okay.
That was, of course,
The
Two
founder.
fast foods.
Well,
Oh
no,
yeah.
the founder, and also the last one was White Castle. Harold
Yeah.
and Kumar go to White Castle.
That's what clinched it for me.
Yeah, there you go.
That
All right,
scene
and
with- that
for
scene with the cat pulling up when they jaywalk is brilliant.
yes.
Anyway.
I just love the it's like, dude, you stole our car. He's like, yes, and now I'm buying you breakfast because it was a dick move.
That I love that in that movie, Neil Patrick Harris is credited as Neil Patrick Harris
Yeah.
and not himself because he doesn't want people to think that's what he's like.
Yeah. But just
Right.
they're just like, you stole our car. Yes, it was a
Because I
dick
think that
move.
was before he came out too. So he's like this. It was brilliant casting.
Oh, when he was snorting coke off the prostitute's breast as he's driving down the road. They look over. Yeah.
So there's only one left, right?
One left. This is just for
It's not what I think. I'm gonna be so sad, Lance.
this is just for fun.
You could buzz. You could preemptively buzz and guarantee.
No,
that
we've
you
had
get it.
people do it. We've had people guess for it.
We've had people do it, so they don't get
Sure.
locked out.
Okay. Scott.
Clue number one.
It-
Okay, Scott Demers, go.
Freddy Fazbear.
Eh.
God damn it. This
Wait,
is hey,
wait,
this
what?
whole thing is
Who's
bullshit if Freddy Fazbear isn't
Ball
in here.
Who's Freddy Fazbear?
I don't know.
Five Nights
Never
at
heard of
Freddy's.
it. Never heard of it.
Clue number one. This is most commonly a metaphor. Clue number two. Is not allowed.
Aldi.
Go for it.
Forbidden fruit.
Forbidden fruit is correct. Well done.
Nice
Well done.
one. Dang.
Good game. Good game.
That's a good one.
JJ.
G
GG.
and G.
G mother.
What was the answer? I was busy ignoring you all.
What is what did you say? Fozzie Fazbear?
Freddy Fazbear.
Pretty fast.
Fast.
Or is Freedom and Freeze?
It's the main villain in Five Nights at Freddy's, which is one of the biggest
Ah,
video games of all time.
And where's first?
that's a different decade.
Oh yeah, no, I have a son who's-
Flash Freeze. Flash
Freeze
Froze.
frame.
Jay
Flash
Giles.
Freeze.
Dun, 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 dun,
Freeze
dun,
frame.
dun, 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 dun.
Freeze frame.
That's
Yeah.
right. Thank
Well,
you.
now
The
you
Jay
gotta
Giles band,
make- Now
baby.
you got to do the next set initial.
Yeah.
I was
I've
ready
shirked
for
my responsibilities a couple of times now, so I guess I better do it this time.
Better make one.
I'm gonna do it for like fucking QZ or something.
You should.
QZ. Good
I
luck.
don't know.
Yeah, where's Freedom and Freeze?
Fantastic Factories.
You know, it'd be funny to do it with silent letters for all the answer.
Start with a P.
With a P, yeah. No more.
Pterodactyl.
Psychiatrist.
Yeah.
But there's an alphabet book that has all silent or really horrible reference words.
We have that.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Tsunami.
Yeah.
Tchaikovsky.
Yeah.
Tchaikovsky.
Yeah. Starts with a T. Tchaikovsky.
God, that's brilliant.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
all be like, the score is 0 to 0 to 0 to 4 for Matt and Aldi tied. Evan, you come in late and get 2.
Yep.
And I'm still
That sounds
pissed about Freddy Fazbear. So
Yeah, well, we were talking about games we played. Did anybody else play anything that's just like an Evan? You got anything you wanna brag about?
I've been enjoying Dead Cells, but I know it's not your style.
Yeah, you poo pooed it last week.
I don't.
We're working our way through the campaign.
We are.
did I talk about Land and Freedom once on another call? Did I talk about that
Doesn't
one?
ring a bell.
Land and Freedom. So it's a 3-player game about the Spanish Civil War. 3 parties with asymmetric powers. I'm playing it again tomorrow. Really, really interesting and different. And so it's the 3 players. You're actually all representing the factions that came together to form the Republicans. So one person's the communists, one person is the I forget exactly now. It represents the Republicans, and then I think the other is maybe the monarchists, all with different victory conditions. And it's one of those games where you all play against the fascists, who are the game system. So it's win. You don't win together. One side wins, or you all lose. So in that sense, it kind of shadows. It's like a simplistic version, maybe of Republic of Rome or some of those kind of classic games, but done with a new shell that's really cool. Thoroughly enjoyed my first play. It's by a first-time game designer, and he is working on a game. His next game sounds even more fascinating. I think it's a 4-player game about the Russian Civil War. And I, being a history freak, that kind of stuff really, really kind of jazzes me. So anyway, worth taking a look at. Land and Freedom, it's called.
Cool.
But 3-player.
Who makes it?
Blue Panther, I think, is the name of the company.
Blue Panther.
Hang on a second. I'll look it up on this pretty cool website I stumbled upon the other day. Yeah, it's publisher's Blue Panther. So, and really simplistic from board game from a map perspective. There are various fronts in the war. You can't lose any one, and I think 2 or 3 of the fronts. I forget the exact number. You're going to lose some to the fascists, and it kind of permanently locks it out. But there are these tracks, and you're kind of battling, moving things back and forth on these various tracks. And it's a play a card for an action or play a card for points style game. But yeah, really neat. And of course, I've only played it once, and we tend to play pretty competitive games. And as you can imagine, the fascists beat us because we were too busy trying to win against the other players and not paying enough attention to the progress that the system was making, which is awesome. So really cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Type.
Sorry, I'm responding to comment about the Dwarf Knight.
Why isn't this game exactly what I want it to be?
Is anybody looking forward to any games coming out? Anybody know following what's coming out?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Nothing. I'm waiting for the Elder Scrolls game. They posted a picture of all their boxes in a truck. Like I'm like, oh, I'll get it soon. That was like a month ago.
It was mocking you.
It was mocking us.
I have a grievance I wouldn't mind chatting about real briefly.
Fire away.
Although I think it's going to be the response is going to be no duh, but
no duh.
It really is. So the initials are ND. No duh is the answer. What? I'm really intrigued during this Kickstarter campaign. This is the first one I'm running myself. I've been an accomplice on 3 or 4, right? 4. But this is the first one where I'm just running it directly. I'm astounded at the number of people. What triggered this, by the way, was your comment about you designing the game exactly as I want it to be designed. I'm astounded at the number of, like, if you're not delivering exactly what it is that they want in the time frame they want, at the cost they want, at the, insert any myriad of items. The very first thing people do is they go to Board Game Geek in this case, or Reddit or social media or whatever, and insult you personally,
Yeah.
and then just be astounded. I mean, literally just go and go, like I had a guy go say something like he had a problem with a single sentence in the rules that basically says when you get hit, there's a golden rule in Drag Is Down. When you get hit with an actual damage of 1 or more, you either die or you take a wound. That's the 1 wound. That's the golden rule. And he was arguing that the semantics of the sentence was wrong, and that it implied that regardless of the strength of what you get hit with, even if it's less than 1, you still take a wound. And so and therefore, right, you can see where this is going. Therefore it's poorly written, and
One star.
and just,
Well,
and,
I don't want to interrupt you, Scott.
I'm trying to be kind here. I'm holding back because I'm trying to be kind here, and I'm give the benefit of the doubt here. And I was like all ready to respond, and then I saw his like kind of insulting statement at the end, and I thought, you know what? We'll let the community handle this one, because like I put myself out there all the time, right? Trying to be polite and trying to help. And if you're gonna come in and then kind of insult me, why do you think that's gonna work? Or you know what I mean? So that's my grievance is, taking to social media in some form, and instead of having a constructive conversation, just launching into why you're offended, and everybody's offended today.
Well,
about
nuclear is the knee-jerk reaction now, right?
Yeah.
It's the need for immediate gratification, and how immediate. I mean, doing everything online is better chances of getting an immediate reaction than anything else.
Yeah.
Which is very frustrating.
And I think it's empowered people to have opinions about things that they know nothing about.
Yeah.
And feel outraged about everything, and therefore I can expound on it when you're not an expert.
Yeah,
kind
it
of
makes
thing.
me sad. Like I will never run a Kickstarter, ever.
Oof, right.
Ever.
Yeah.
I don't have the mental, emotional fortitude to do that.
I mean, I'll even, I'll share this. Like, I have been absolutely thrilled with the response that we've gotten, and we've built this really cool community of over 400 people on a Discord server, and it is so positive and reinforcing, and people are sharing stories and what the game means to them, and it's like really, truly just touching. And today I've battled depression all day long over, people just insulting things that are beyond control, and it's to the point that I was like, what the fuck am I even doing this for? And that's not who I am, right? But it hit me today because I'm just so sick of people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just, it's pretty funny. There was a thread of, probably 2 weeks ago where there's some concern, there's some issues about fulfillment in Europe, and the fact that we don't have any core games for sale there, and the quantities don't justify reprinting the standard edition. So we have some on a ship, and they're going through European customs, and you can imagine how that goes, how slow that is, right? But very soon, just be patient. We'll have 100 copies for. So all I said is, hey, hey, we got a solution in place. Just need a little bit more time. Please, just patience and kindness. That's all I said. Please, a little patience and kindness. We have a solution for you. And the very next one was like, elitism like this has no place in gaming.
What?
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh.
It reminds me of, I saw this a long time ago. I saw this thing on, you remember the old polar bear Coca-Cola commercials?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this one of the employees of the agency that the 3D agents, the animation agency that did these, was like, yeah, we did the comp for the video. We threw it together, and the client was like, yeah, can you have the polar bear do a completely different sequence, right? And then the guy's like, yeah, there's no polar bear button on my fucking keyboard, And my point is, so many people, have these demands and well, why can't you just do this? It's like they have no concept of what the work is involved, what it takes to get to where you've got to, Scott.
20 years. I have a prototype sitting right over here from 20 years ago. No joke.
I try and remind myself of that when I read these comments, because it's like, I know where this is coming from, and you try not to take it personally, but it still hurts.
Yeah. The people that are complaining about about wanting the game at a better price point in Europe, my heart goes out to them. I want to get it. I want to get it to everybody that wants it. We have a solution. We have 100 copies that are going through customs and will be at a distributor, which we don't do. My games don't go into distribution, but a distributor joined the campaign from the first campaign. And so they have 100 copies that they're going to sell. They don't sell direct. They only sell to brick and mortar stores. So you have to go to your brick and mortar store and go, hey, order from Front Depot, go get this game. That's all you have to do. And I've had people go, that's total bullshit. What, that I'm not reprinting? We have like 50 people in Europe who want the game. It's a boutique game, right? My minimum print run is 500. I can't sit on 450 copies of a game at this price point. Anyway, now I feel like I'm in a rant mode and I'm going to stop. But my grievance is that people just don't have the concept of, hey, people are doing their best and it might not be perfect for you, but just have a little patience and kindness, and people will work hard to help you. Right? Anyway, I'm done. Rant over.
Well, as Travis Chance once famously said, I want the moon and I want it right effing now. Signed, Kickstarter back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Travis. All right. On that note, I'm going to head off to Bedfordshire.
Oh, look what he does. He wins his game and then he just takes off.
He takes
It's
his
1 in the
winnings and goes
morning. I
home.
have to get up early.
Pops in for one hand of poker, gets his win.
Oh, trust me. If I popped in for one hand of poker, you'd all be a lot richer.
Oh, cool.
I am that bad at poker.
Poker next week?
Yeah.
Done.
Poker, I hardly even score.
That'll soothe the pain of getting my ass kicked by you every week, Matt.
Super Collider, I hardly know her.
Oh, good night, Irene.
See you, Matthew.
See you guys.
Come on, Eileen.
Oh, geez. Finally left. I kid. I don't know. Anybody else got anything cool going on lately?
I filmed another short film. That was fun.
I saw you. You were in a suit or something.
Yeah.
Being all
Spiffy.
debonair and what have you.
I was the embodiment of everything that was wrong in local politics.
Were you a slimy politician?
Yes. So good. It was so much fun.
It didn't take much to pull it off, or what?
Like a step to the left or right.
I mean, you know me, like I'm essentially a sleazy bastard anyway. So
nice.
So yeah, it wasn't much of a stretch. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
How'd you get the part?
It was the same. So the last one I did last year about the guy wrote his story about like coming from, the Midwest and going to his first gay bar in San Francisco when he was in his 20s and finding love and stuff. Like that was his first one from last year that I was in. And then this is like the next one that he wrote, and he invited me back to star in this one. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Based on his experiences trying to get into local politics. And then moonwalking out after he realized what it was all about.
Yeah. Believable. My ex-girlfriend is the mayor of the town where I live now, which is really funny.
That's funny.
She was elected this year, and
That's awesome.
big fan of her politics. But I laugh because it was like, I'll be damned, Wendy is running for mayor of Lakewood, Colorado, right? So pretty funny. Now I'm really interested. Like, I want to call her up and go, tell me about like the dirt, like tell me about some things that are going on, or behind the scenes, because she's probably in the muck, right?
Oh yeah, she's got to be.
But anyway,
or at the very least, dealing with, weird handshakes and.
right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Random things. I mean, when my dad was in North Dakota Congress or whatever, I mean, like,
Oh well.
Yeah, he was like, well, if I'm ever hungry, there's somebody doing a luncheon or a dinner somewhere that wants to talk my ear off about why they need to, be able to drive their four-wheelers on the highway.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is he's like eating a hamburger? Interesting. Yeah. Oh, I'll take it under advisement. And get me out of here. But yeah. I'm always like, my wife tried to get me to run for school board a couple of times, and I'm just like, I just don't want to do it. I just like, I can't even imagine how annoyed I'd be to like, because I see some of the other yahoos that are on the freaking school board, and they're all like, I don't agree with them, and like if I was up there like theoretically with them, I would just be super annoyed by them, just like about all kinds of stuff. So then you gotta freaking sit there and argue, and I don't know. It just doesn't sound like it'd be a good time. But I guess if you want to like, make a difference and all that, this, that, and the other thing, you can't do it by sitting at home. So
yeah.
Oh, come on. You mean posting on social media doesn't actually solve problems?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a joke.
It is a joke.
Hey,
What are you
folks,
eating?
Are you guys quitting Facebook?
Sorry?
Are we talking about is anybody quitting Facebook?
I have no plans to.
Like a bunch of my friends are quitting.
I know.
Yeah, I seen that too, and I'm just kind of like, well, I mean,
you mean, or what? Or just
Sorry, you guys talked over each other.
Well, the big impetus is that like it's because like they're not gonna do fact checking anymore or something, or which
they're gonna loosen the rules.
And then like, why do they have the rules
crazy
to begin with, kind of thing? I don't know. Who knows? I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. I mean, everybody was always like, "Oh, it's so bad," and it's just kind of like, "Well, is that great anyway?" I mean, or you see the same people that complain, "Oh, the first like 7 things I see on Facebook are all ads and this, that, and other thing." I'm like, yeah, but you kept scrolling, so I mean, I guess I don't know. It's like you're not gonna stop playing. I mean, I just, that's the stuff that drives me crazy. Is like people are like, "Oh, I can't believe how horrible this has gotten." It's just
tap 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 tap.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, folks, I do actually need to check out because I got to get my daughter to bed.
Reasonable.
Isn't your daughter like in college?
My son is in college. My daughter is 18 years old, and I hear her thumping around upstairs. So,
well, let her enjoy her life. She's like, I'm free. I'm having a blast.
You know who has to wake her up in the morning and get her butt in gear to get to school at like 7:30 or something like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you're retired. You can go right back to sleep as soon as you're,
Heyo.
What's the big deal? Fair enough. Fair enough.
I have no response other than just disappointment, Lance.
Yeah, I know. It's very disappointing.
All right, gents. Thank you so much.
Good night, guys. Or good night, you. Forrest, will you please log in and tell us what your Pellicor bandits are worth right now?
Yeah.
What?
I hope that turns around, man.
I
I
can't
like
wait.
the
He,
long
he
shot.
said he already made a big clearing with his the other coin he made it. He's
Oh, really?
Made
Yeah.
$1,000. I mean,
I mean
I was
that's
happy
not,
with
I
it.
mean in what, like 3 hours?
No,
Hey, $1,000
3
is
days.
$1,000.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, man.
$1,000 is $1,000.
That's dope.
Can't argue with that.
$1,000, $1,000.
What are you gonna do with that?
$20 is $20.
How do you get 1,000 out of the Bitcoin thing? You have to like withdraw.
Yeah, you connect your bank account with whatever wallet you're using, and you can go in and out.
Cash withdrawal.
Give them your mother's maiden name and your social security number and date of birth, your blood type. That's all accurate, right?
They're worth a penny a pop. No, worth
Would you buy them at?
various different amounts. 2.5 cents was the most.
Okay.
You're down like 50%.
It's really hard to tell because I bought them at all sorts
All
of
the
different.
prices.
Yeah,
They're coming back though.
I hope
they
so.
actually were. They were at 0.01, so they are substantially higher than they were.
Oh, there you go.
And I don't play the game anymore. Just they sit there and fingers crossed. Fingers crossed they get lucky.
Yeah, man.
Fingers crossed. Well, I mean, and what was the game again?
Splinterlands.
It's a good name.
Splinterlands? Did Scott leave his
Splinter.
computer on?
I don't know.
You should disconnect him. I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, there he goes.
I just removed him. Now he's not allowed to rejoin anymore either.
Rude.
But what's up?
Why don't you check your phone?
Exciting. What else to talk about?
I got something that's pretty exciting for me. So fucking hate grapefruit my whole life. Never eat it. You know, it's always too bitter, but I always keep trying it. Whole life. Last week, found out I liked it. Just out of the blue. I love grapefruit. I've had like 10 since last week. Like my wife is like, you need to slow down. You can't have more than 2 a day. That's how much I'm eating them. Because I know they're like superfoods and I've always wanted to like them because they're so good for you. But I just thought they tasted like death. And then all of a sudden, just bam. I tried one. Couldn't believe it. Love them. So I was very happy.
The grapefruit gene got turned on somehow.
There you go.
Apparently. Because I used to just bitter and just bleh. Didn't like them with salt on them or anything, but
So funny.
nothing in my brain changed.
Cool, man. I love grapefruit.
I had a ruby red grapefruit the other day. I ate the whole thing. It was good.
It was hard to find like the original not red grapefruit for a long time.
Oh, just like regular yellow
Yeah, like
grapefruit.
the light, yeah, like the yellow lighter.
Yeah.
Because I actually kind of prefer the flavor of those. Like it is a little more like harsh and bitter and acid, but I kind of like the flavor better than the ruby red. But yeah, grapefruit's delish. I'm glad you've turned the corner on that.
Me too, man. I always try because I know they're the superfood. So glad. I just need to get it together with the rest of them.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about grapefruit. There's something in it that I like have some kind of reaction to, like some kind of allergic reaction. Like I get, like it's like I don't know if it's. I think it's more than just the acidity. Like there's some kind of skin reaction. So I kind of stopped eating them, but I do love them. What else is new?
I launched the Hall of Fame,
Oh, I saw
Board Game
that.
Geek Hall of Fame.
I saw that. That's
Talking
awesome.
about it for years. Finally got it to go. Yeah, Jennifer Schlickburn was the impetus to make it happen. Do you know her?
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah. She was one of the designers on Advanced Civ. You know that game?
Okay.
You know Civilization? The
Right.
Francis Tresham game? She was a designer on the Advanced Civilization expansion.
Cool. Yeah.
She's been around forever.
Yeah.
And she wrote me and she's like, we should set up a Hall of Fame. And by we, I mean you. I'm like, oh yeah. But she goes, I'll help you. And I'm like, okay, so
That's cool.
yeah, we launch it today. We're I don't know. I mean, we probably did this wrong, but we're doing individual videos for every game.
Yeah.
And they're basically like testimonial videos from like a lot of people in the hobby, you know,
Yeah.
like creators. And we're getting accused of flooding our channel because we're doing 5 a day. I'm like,
It's
5
your
video days
channel.
is not that big a deal. Like if it was 100 a day or 50 a day, yeah,
Right.
sure. But 5, come on.
Yeah.
So someone wrote, "Thanks for flooding my channel. I'm now unsubscribing." I'm like, okay,
See ya.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah. I'm always like, if you can't use your channel to post things that you find important,
At a rate that I need to do it. Like
yeah.
we were thinking about doing 1 per day for like a month,
Mhm.
like 25 days, which is
Mhm.
kind of a lot. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it will just lose momentum.
Yeah.
Like the strategy was just like, boom, we're going to be done in 1 week.
Yeah.
And it's going to be out 25 different games.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's doing well. Like I think the reception is strong.
Yeah. I think it's a super cool idea, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Like,
yeah, it's fun when you work on something and people actually end up liking it.
like Board Game Hall of Fame.
Could have gone a different way.
Like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That should exist. And I'm like, it's one of those things where you're like, well, why didn't that already exist?
Right.
That should be a thing. And who better to like maintain that than PGG, you know? Like it just makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know why people are anyway. I think it's awesome.
People complain about everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting to come up with the games. I did not vote. We set up a jury.
Yeah.
And everybody came up with their like 25. I think they came up with 30, top 30, and then we just coalesced it down. And it was almost unanimous for like the first 20.
Wow.
Not exactly, but it was pretty close to unanimous.
Yeah.
And then I mean, because they're not ranked in any way.
Yeah, it's just
20. We just need 20 inductees.
Yeah.
And so the last 5 were really like a battle royale, if you would call it.
Right.
A lot of
You
talking,
did some
a lot of conversation,
kind of
discussing
ranked voting or something.
And the people who people champion certain games and like would discuss why. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I did not vote, but I just partook in all the meetings. Or partook.
Yeah,
partook.
That sounds right.
Is that a word?
I mean, it makes sense grammatically.
Yeah. So every game has to be at least 10 years old.
Okay.
So 2015 or later.
Okay.
Or earlier.
So
our first.
reasonable
I'll go through the first. I don't know if you've looked at it, but
I did.
Yeah, the first 15 have been released. So Diplomacy was 1959.
Yeah.
Acquire. Have you guys played Acquire or Diplomacy? They're kind of like
Diplomacy.
a little bit. Played Diplomacy.
Mm-hmm. It's brutal.
Acquire is pretty good too.
I've heard good things.
Yeah. Cosmic Encounter, which is 1977.
Wow.
And it's so ahead of its time for 1977.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Civilization, the board game, from Francis Tresham, as I mentioned. 1830. Let's see. Day 2, that was the first 5. Magic the Gathering, 1993.
Yep.
Catan, which is 1995. El Grande, 96. Tigris and Euphrates, 97. Raw, 99. What's left? Where's my day 3? Day 3 was Carcassonne. Power Grid was 2004. Carcassonne was 2000. Ticket to Ride is 2004. Kalis was 2005. Twilight Struggle 2005. And that's it. 10 more to come. 5 more tomorrow, and then 5 more on Friday.
Yeah.
Any thoughts of what the other 10 are? Debate.
I mean, there's
Any
so many
ideas?
good games that's tough.
You mock her.
D-Mock.
Yeah. I don't think Democker was. I mean, Democker was an interesting game. Have you played it?
Once.
I played it a couple times.
I could see Dominion. You didn't already say Dominion, right?
I did not say Dominion yet.
I could see Dominion.
It's a good guess.
Um,
It's a good game because it's foundational, right? It's like,
and yeah,
how many games did Dominion create?
right.
Like just that mechanic of deck building or
Yeah.
deck building.
Yeah.
Tony Bosca says Agricola. Kabuki Kid says Pandemic.
Pandemic, I think has
We
to
got
be in
Kalis
there.
on the list already.
Pandemic has to be in there.
Man, Kalis was a good game. I really enjoyed Kalis. I didn't like the what was that guy's name?
The under
little thing that,
secretary
like,
or
moves-
whatever. Yeah.
The provost.
The provost. Yeah.
The asshole.
Yeah. You're like, no.
No, stop moving my game.
Yeah.
Stop moving my pieces.
Yeah.
Lords of Waterdeep? I don't know. Lords of
I
Waterdeep?
could see Lords of
No.
Waterdeep.
Lords of Waterdeep is a good game.
No,
It's
that is
foundational
not.
game.
Snores of water sleep.
But it was not really the first worker
Yeah.
placement.
I could see maybe Concordia. Castles of Burgundy. You haven't said that yet, right?
I have not said Castles of Burgundy.
Oh, that's got to be in there. At least in my opinion. You know, who knows?
Good guess. It's a good game.
Well, I should probably kick it in too. I got an early morning
Oh, all
tomorrow.
right. Cool.
Yeah,
Happy 25th anniversary,
to
buddy.
talk about here because we're not talking politics.
Nah, well, next week I'll be able to let it fly, but I just couldn't.
Next week?
Too fresh. We can.
I mean, next week could be bring a whole new list of new things. Some
True.
new horrors.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So, but everybody, I don't know, be good to each other, be good, decent people, and then, yeah, see you next week.
Hi, everybody.
See you next week.
Laters.